Before we jump into today's episode, if you are listening to this on Spotify, I encourage you to check out the video on our YouTube channel so you can see our 3x3s as we talk about them, or go to our Twitter at Subtitled Opinions to see all 4 3x3s posted. Cheers. Hello and welcome to another episode of Subtitled Opinions. I'm Nick.
I'm Daniel.
I'm Nicole.
And I'm Gus, and I'll be your host for this episode. Okay, this episode is my favorite so far because we're going to be talking about manga. And I have read a lot of manga. If you look at my Annie list, I've read 9,000 chapters. More than that, actually. Over 9,000, you could say. And so...
Oh my god.
All of us prepared not a top 10 list because that shit is lame. Who would do that? We made a little 3x3 grid. For you Rubik's Cube doers, you know what a 3x3 is. It's pretty self-explanatory. So, does anyone want to share their 3x3 first, or?
We could. Do we want to start with, say, the people who don't like have the full 3x3, or do we want to save those people for like the end? Because
why are you saying those people? That's
obviously okay.
One.
Obviously, yeah, that's fair. Nicole was on the grind last night and now has a full 3x3.
I had choices too. I had things I chose not to put into it.
See, I didn't have that luxury, Nicole. I
So
had
basically,
to get to
Yeah.
9.
I've read more than 9 manga.
So Daniel,
Yeah, what's up?
you want to go first or last, or
Yeah,
somewhere in the middle? It's up to you.
I'll go first. No, yeah, it's fine.
All right. I will put Daniel's up on the thing for the rest of you if you want to take a look at the folder so you can see Daniel's. There it is. I immediately recognize some of these, Daniel.
Mm-hmm. These are all very fresh in my brain right now.
I also don't recognize actually over half of these.
Okay, no, that's good. That's good. Essentially, I had to catch up because I had like 3 of these read before yesterday, and then the rest were read just now. So, Solo Leveling, I've read all the way through on every single chapter. Good read.
You have to specify every chapter, all the way to the end of every chapter. What do people be skipping?
He was stopping halfway through and going.
I'd be reading the first panel next chapter.
Yes.
I mean, if you had to get through it quickly, then
I'm illiterate. My vernacular is minimal, so pardon if I say things unintelligently. Anyway, beginning after the end, also a banger. It's like what Jobless Reincarnation should have been, like redeemable characters. Faraway Paladin, which for some reason I thought was Fairway.
Oh,
like
that's
golf.
what that one is.
Yeah.
Fairway.
That one's pretty good.
Fairway Paladin.
I still don't know what's going on.
That would be a banger.
That sounds based.
Fairway Paladin. I would if they got like a good sports manga author to do that, I would read the shit out of that.
I'd be hyped.
How many reverse isekais are there? Where someone from a different world gets reincarnated here.
Devil's a part-timer, right? That's a reverse.
Yeah.
You mean on his list or in general?
No,
I'm just talking in general.
Devil's a part-timer.
So I'll talk about this after I get through the whole list. The next one is Suki. If you want to put the X in there, it's like Hunter.
Suki X.
Is it like Hunter?
I like it.
Not the plot, just the name.
It is. It is basically
the latest
Hunter.
arc in Suki X Suki. They're going to the Dark Continent. Came out of nowhere.
For one person that I talked to this one about, it's the one where the girl is invisible, and the only one that can see her is her crush. And
I've fully heard about this.
I'm gonna be honest. I think most of you have heard about the Dojin. That is the exact same premise.
Yeah, that's what I heard about.
I don't know which one came first, but they're legitimately the same. It's just one of them is a wholesome manga and the other is not.
I don't know about how wholesome Suki is, but I guess in like contrast, it could be considered wholesome.
Actual sex.
Call of the Night. also a banger. It's getting an anime. Really good. And then The Warrior Returns. Um, that's like a reverse isekai almost, bro. So many motherfuckers getting isekai'd in this one. Okay, the premise is that this kid gets isekai'd and becomes the hero of another world, and then he like defeats the demon lord or whatever, and then he gets returned home, and then no one gives a shit about him, and his mom died in an accident handing out flyers because he was a missing person, and then his dad killed himself because his two family members died or were
Jesus.
considered missing. And then he's like, and then he turned to his family, and they're like, nah. Everyone turns away from him essentially. And then he gets upset, and then he tries to do like a sword summoning thing in this real world, and it actually works. And then he just becomes a terrorist, essentially. And then so many people like that also had the same experience as him all of a sudden come out of the woodwork and start owning different parts of Korea. And it's
Of
a
course
banger.
Korea.
This sounds
course
like
it's Korea.
this sounds so
Of course
faintly
it's
like
Korea.
Omniscient Reader, except
What?
it's like backwards,
No.
kind of.
What are you talking about?
Is Omniscient Reader technically a reverse isekai? Or
What
it just
is
a normal
Omniscient
isekai?
Reader?
No, it's not an isekai.
But you could say that the world changes. Like, yes, it's
Okay.
the same, but
Like the world changing is
Bro,
not
what?
an isekai.
okay. I take it back. Bad take.
Then
bad
I
take.
guess the entire population of the world got isekai.
I take it. Rewind. I take it back. It was a bad take.
So, bottom left, The God of High School. Pretty good. Gus is a seasoned veteran
I
in
love
this
God of High School.
webtoon. I am but an infant reading this. I watched the anime. I'm like, I'll pick off where the anime ended, and then it didn't make sense, but it looked cool, so I read that. What is this one? It's something like in the bottom middle.
Onikaku.
It's something like this motherfucker's scary. Is basically what that one is. It's a romance manga about a tomboy kind of spooky person, and she really likes this random guy that thinks she hates him.
If you read, I don't know how much of this you read, but if you even slightly enjoyed it, you should read I Belong to the Baddest Girl at School.
Oh my god.
So it is like
The title.
kind of like this plot.
Wow, that sounds like a banger.
It
I might
is.
have to check it out.
It is. Yeah, it's kind of like that, except I don't know, different because it's its own thing.
Mm-hmm.
No
The
way.
last one is New Normal, and that's basically what if coronavirus.
I've heard a lot about
What
that
is
actually.
coronavirus?
Yeah. How far did you get in it, Daniel? Are you all the way caught up, or?
Yeah.
I started reading this one when it right when it started coming out because the plot was like, hey, it's COVID. Here's a story about some virus that's making people have to wear masks like 24/7. But it's
Relatable.
essentially the plot is like, what if? Okay, it's not really what if. It's imagine COVID, but is what COVID is, and it gets even worse, and you just have to wear masks all the time.
Horrible example. So essentially, everyone wears masks, and then like the below your nose becomes kind of like a mystery thing, and it kind of encounters, you know how things that are like covered in like the human body, it's like what we find sexual or what we find attractive and how clothes are. It's that same concept, but with like a mask. It's like, oh, like you can kind of see their mouth with this mask. It's like, damn, that mouth though. And then that's like kind of the thing about like shifting how like if an entire society changes, how do like we perceive another human being.
That's
Like,
very interesting actually.
yeah.
That's cool.
This man just picked this up last night and already has a better
Wow.
understanding of it than me.
I got
Man, I read the Spark Notes.
No.
Bro, okay, am I the only one that sometimes I'll be reading something and they're like in public and they don't have a mask, or like watching something and I'm like, where's
Yeah.
your mask? Where's your mask?
I'm like,
Wait
oh
a
my
minute.
god.
That's why
Not wearing masks.
What
Gotta
are
read
the
New
rules at
Normal.
this restaurant? Come on now.
Really gone downhill.
It is, just to think, like, I can only speak for myself of, I guess, like 2 years ago now, so almost 2 years ago now, like this time
Mhm.
was, for me, it was, let's see, it's February. Yeah, so I had just gotten back from Europe when it was like, ooh, there's this thing, it's in China, it might be pretty bad. And we're all like, damn, that's pretty crazy. And then I went straight from there to Arizona for a race, for like a camp and then a race. And that was where it was like, right as we were leaving the camp, it was like, one person in the US has this. And we were at that point, we were like, huh, that's creepy or weird or whatever. Like, maybe it's going to be like
That's weird.
yeah, like that's the new
No
Ebola or
way.
something. And then we got back, and then it wasn't even a full month later. There was like,
Yeah.
we were having another team camp, and like I ended up not going. It was like in that span, it was like so bad at that point. But
Well, like
remember the
I
last
remember,
day.
yeah, the last day, and I remember one of our classmates. She, I'm not saying names, right? Yeah, I'm
I
not
say
saying.
first
You haven't
names.
said any names.
Yeah, okay. I remember.
Initials.
I remember Matisse had just gotten back from Washington,
Oh,
which
that
is
was
where the
when it was
cases
bad
were.
in Washington.
Yeah, and we were all like, "Oh my God, she has COVID." and she's gonna
She sat at my math table, and I remember
Mm.
it was like, we didn't know what to think at that point, and I was like,
He was
Yeah.
publicly ostracized.
I mean, not like officially, but it was kind of like, I remember I
Everyone
was
was
like, she's like cool, but at the math table, I was like,
Yeah.
gonna back a little bit away, like.
I remember Daniel, were you there when we played Pit, like the last night before school was done forever?
Yeah.
We went to Cane's.
Mm-hmm.
That was crazy.
I have a picture. I printed
I
that
was
out.
looking through my tagged pictures on Instagram, and the caption to that one, oh, wait, I have to find it now, because it was like, it's something really funny.
Well, yeah, just the whole, like, oh, guys, we get like a month off school, let's go.
Yeah.
And now
Oh,
we're
it
fucking
was
here.
like,
It's like, damn.
yeah, your caption was like, remember to wash your hands. It was
Yeah.
like a picture of us all, no masks,
You
sitting
brought
in
this upon us,
Cane's.
Daniel. You jinxed
Oh
it.
my
Why did you do it?
God.
No. Okay. Side note, I hate actors, and like when our show got canceled, we like all sat on the stage, and
Oh my
it
God,
was so weird because
that
like
was ridiculous.
we canceled due to COVID, but we were all together on stage without masks because like no one really knew what to do. I guess I don't know,
I-
but we were all talking there, and we're like, oh, we could like record this performance, and like a really nice parent in the community has like film crew type shit, and we're gonna record it so you can at least have like a showing that you could show it to your family and shit like that. And the actors were like, it feels like the show is already dead, so I don't really want to like it would be like resurrecting a loved one like from the grave. And
Literally,
I'm like,
they're
what the
like
fuck are you talking about? We're putting on Chicago. Wait, what the
a high school performance of Chicago.
like
Not that deep.
I
And there
mean,
was like
God.
crying, and there was like one of the actresses running away and crying and saying she wasn't gonna do it if her friends couldn't be there at the
She
last
did
minute.
run out like a that was so fucking stupid.
And
Reg-
everyone in the fucking band was just sitting there like, shut the
regardless
fuck up.
regardless of that, like, as a band kid, I totally have the right to say this, but theater kids being theater kids, that aside, it's still, I mean, I think it was okay that you guys were all there, and because obviously I think they didn't want to bring like elderly people from the community
Mhm.
There was
in
no
to
one in
sit
the
them in there.
performance.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, I think the reason they canceled the show but kept all you guys there was they didn't want like old people coming in to watch it and then dying.
Yeah.
And
I
like,
think
we're all in school
Sounds like that.
anyways.
there weren't a lot of cases in Minnesota at that time. Like compared to what it was a month after that or 2 months after that,
Oh,
we were good.
yeah. And then
Yeah.
we went on lockdown,
And
where
no one stayed
if
in their
you
house.
wanted to stay in your house and do nothing, like I did, I
This is-
remember it was right because that was like when Pokemon Go started getting popular again.
It
And
did.
I Well, because
Mm.
everyone was like having to go outside. Well, okay, if you played Pokemon Go, it got popular
I
again.
did in like 2016.
It
and I never
revamped.
did.
I remember my brother and I would play it a ton, and we went to Wobbin, that
Yeah.
little like park area. We went there, and to like the falls area, and we had masks on, walking around the park, and we're like staying away from people in like a park with masks on. And now I'm like, that is insane. Like obviously we didn't
I
know
would
what
be
to
going
do,
on
but
walks with my friends, and one of us would be in the street, and one would be on the sidewalk.
yeah,
And we were like, we can't get
Mm.
closer than this.
I
And my
just
parents were like, you're pushing it, Nicole.
I just stayed inside for
yeah.
12 months.
Oh no, I had just built a PC. What a terrible time to be stuck in my house for an entire summer. Yeah.
Then we moved in together. Let's go.
That I probably would have. I don't know what I would have done
If not for that and the
Listen,
road
okay, I don't.
trip,
I that started going. That started going not where I meant it to go.
Sounds dark.
I was not gonna like off myself, but
I'm gonna isekai
I would have. It
myself.
would have been so much harder that like whole fall if I had been just in my like room the whole time instead of with
Yeah.
you guys. That made it so much easier to
I'm proof
do
of that.
nothing.
And I was still
Yeah,
depressed.
3 of us lived together,
Nicole
and
turned into a hermit.
yeah.
I turned into a hermit, and I
Can
saw
you
no
guess?
one for 6
Can you
months.
guess which one had no social interaction for 6 months?
Very
Uh,
fun.
Tough.
so, Daniel, you mind if I ask you a couple questions about some of these?
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
So first off,
Yeah.
beginning after the end, I agree with it is what Mushoku Tensei, in some opinions, should have been, but I also
Correct
remembered something
opinions.
that the last time Mushoku Tensei was being completely torn apart,
Mhm.
I just forgot about. I don't know if you guys all knew this, but it is whether or not you call Overlord like the same type of isekai, because he didn't really die, he just got transported, right? Or teleported.
Kind of. He was
In
just, like,
Overlord,
in a different place.
it was a video game they played in a guild, and then he couldn't leave the video game, and he kept his avatar, which was like the skeleton
Oh,
homie.
okay, yeah. So, not counting Overlord as like a true to the definition isekai,
Mhm.
Mushoku Tensei is the first. Like it started the light novel. It is the first die and be reborn in another world story. So
That
any
really explains a lot about how isekai is a complete garbage theme for everything. That really sets it home. That
Like,
nails it.
I agree. Like, I have, like, that's very cool that it was like the first one of its kind or whatever. But isekai is garbage.
It really
like, I'm not
speaks to
gonna
the
lie.
genre.
I think
There is.
Like,
I mean I think isekais, and not specifically that one, but just all of them in general, you either are like Daniel and I and you enjoy them. Sorry if I'm speaking for you, Daniel. Do you enjoy isekais?
Well, I have something to say as an isekai enjoyer, but you go ahead.
I won't speak for Daniel. As myself, as an isekai enjoyer, what I notice is that you either pretty much like them or you don't. There's a couple that sort of transcend the isekai-ness, and people who don't normally like them can like them. I think ReZero has a lot of people who don't enjoy the isekai genre that like it. And that's also one of the few where I think the being isekai bit kind of matters to the plot. Like, there's a lot of them that I think it doesn't matter. I'm like, I feel like this could be the same thing, except it wouldn't matter at all. Like, what if he just was a normal person in this world? And those I think are just stupid in general. But you've got like Rising the Shield Hero, the isekai part is sort of part of the plot, like it actually matters, right?
Mhm.
And there's a couple of Mushoku Tensei, if you watch it, it matters to the plot, and there's bits in there, but there's a ton
Does
of
it?
others
Does
Yeah.
that matter to the plot?
that he died and started over again. Yeah,
I think even as someone who hasn't seen it, I like because of the premise of the show, I think it does matter.
I don't. I think the
It-
way they use it though, it's like to make it the isekai make sense, like how do we explain that this baby is so damn horny and like harassing other female
That's
characters?
true. That's true.
Oh, we'll make him actually a 40-year-old man that jacks off instead of going to his parents' funeral. There we go. We got the plot down. And that's Mashoko Tensei. And then they're like, don't worry about it though, it's fine. The animation and the magic system is very cool.
Regardless of all that, of the earlier stuff,
Regardless,
not regardless, I mean, besides that, it also does the thing that pretty much every shitty, like, mass generated isekai nowadays does, which is they're like, oh, you get, like, you've seen isekai, you get what's happening. We don't have to explain anything about this. Just bam, he's in another world. You know what's going on. Here's the rest of the show. It actually spends time going through the, what was he like before? Now he's in here. Here's the
I
other
don't
stuff.
know.
And
I think a lot of isekai do explore that.
I mean, not really. They usually maybe spend half of the first episode. They're like, there's this guy. Oh, he's dead. He's in a new world. And second episode is like, bam, welcome to this new world.
Okay. To be fair, Nicole, Nick and I have seen so much dog shit that
See, if I
to-
watch isekai, it's not gonna be that bad. Like
Exactly.
I watch good
Yeah.
isekai,
yeah.
And there are good ones out there.
not Mushoku Tensei.
See, you respect yourself. Nick and I do this thing where we don't, and we watch garbage, and then we're gonna talk about it in a plug-in a future episode. Nick and I are gonna
Yeah.
go over really bad anime together.
Upcoming, Daniel and I will go through each other's Annie list and go basically to the bottom of the ratings and ask why you watched this, and then we will have to explain why we
Hey.
watched it.
Wanna know what'd be worse? If it's not even at the bottom of the rating, but it's still a bad anime.
Yep. There will
That's
be
tough.
some of those, I'm sure.
But going back to my
mhm.
list,
Oh yeah.
I did notice that I think the top row and then like the right one, they have like reincarnation themes in it, and all of them do, to justify why they're so good in the world, is that like they all reincarnated and they have like really cool abilities, and the reason they're so good at these things is because they remember their past life or something. Maybe not solo leveling as much, but like it kind of
Mhm.
has a theme in there.
Also, the faraway paladin, it's not really because of his other life that he's good. Like, without spoiling any of it, in case you want to watch the anime that came out, because it's actually pretty good. It's more of who like raises him in the new world. And actually, for the first couple episodes, you don't really know that it's an isekai.
True.
You only really figure that out later on. But yeah, the
I
rest
think
of
there
them.
should be more anime that just start with a character who's like whatever age, and they're like, this person has been working on this for so and so years, and
Yeah.
now they're good because they worked hard, and our story
that's-
starts here.
Working hard is lame, all right?
You know,
you
okay,
think anime viewers want to work hard? Come on.
in a way, faraway paladin, he kind of like, he works for it. He's not really gifted anything.
Yeah, that's
It's
my
more
favorite
the
kind of
people who
character.
raise him, and then he's like a very good guy.
He's
there's-
privileged.
Daniel, if you like Beginning After the End, there's a similar one called The Great Mage Returns After 4,000 Years, or The Archmage Returns, depending on how you translate it. And it's not an isekai and not like a solo leveling, kind of, because minor spoilers, but it's like the first chapter or two. It's this guy, he doesn't ever change worlds. It's just this great mage, hence the title, and he comes back into the same world, but just later. So it's
That's kind of a cool concept.
pretty
do like that.
interesting.
To read it.
And he's so into MILFs because he comes back
Wait,
4,000 years later.
Amen.
I'm thinking I saw an ad on TikTok for a Disney Channel show that is that premise. It
What?
is a
What
time
show?
isekai. I don't know.
A
I just saw
Disney
an
show with
ad.
MILFs?
Disney
Well,
No,
there-
Channel
not MILFs,
isekai?
not MILFs, not MILFs.
Oh.
The time part.
I'm in an
Disney
unofficial
Channel
MILF club
time isekai.
of like 100 some members.
Are
Are
you
they
talking about
called
Amphibia
Michigan?
Theory?
No, I don't know
It's
what.
like the fishing thing, right?
It's the
What?
yeah, it's the
Wait, the fishing one.
I think it's the fishing.
What?
Yeah.
I'll
I
yeah,
don't remember
yeah.
what it stands for. It's like Michigan something
Oh,
fishing.
Yeah.
Michigan, Illinois. No,
Man,
Yeah,
I love
Illinois.
fishing.
man, I love fishing.
Michigan, Illinois, Nebraska.
Fishing.
Wait, where'd I get the N in there?
What do you-
Michigan,
I don't even know what you're talking
Illinois,
about. Okay, one sec.
Louisiana
Lincoln,
fishing.
Do
Lincoln.
you want me to?
Okay.
Uh,
Going
sorry.
continue.
Daniel, are you caught up in Call of the Night all the way?
No.
Okay, then forget that I mentioned anything.
No. Okay, after last night being like, the manga episode's tomorrow. Whatever will I do? I got a nice cup of decaffeinated tea, and I just read for a while.
That's nice. That's
And I
lovely.
need to start doing that more.
That's a good
So
evening.
For the past, it's been a couple weeks now. I've only watched the 3 seasonals that I'm keeping up with. And then the rest of the time I'm just reading stuff.
I cannot find anything to watch right now that is not me rewatching something.
respect it.
I'm in a rut.
I'll try to think of some stuff
I'm definitely in a rut.
that you would enjoy.
This will be interesting.
Yeah, it will.
Shall we?
Probably
Shall
not
we
gonna-
move to another?
Is someone else gonna?
Yeah.
I
yeah.
will do
Who wants
mine.
to present their list next?
I will present mine next.
Yeah, we'll throw Nicole's on there.
So,
Is yours the one with titties?
probably.
Yes.
Swag.
Nicole's up there. Yeah, this is pretty easy to tell it's Nicole's. Oh,
So
we
that's
should
sick.
we,
can
we
tell
should have
because you can't recognize most of them.
we should have not put it up and tried to guess see if we could figure out any of the ones that are on there before. But now
I
we've all
know
looked at it.
3 of them.
I know. Let's see.
Okay.
1,
Maybe
2,
4.
3, 4. Is that what? I only know 4.
Okay, so
You know 4? Which ones do you guys know?
I know obviously the 2 that I can see the title of.
Yes.
I know Nana and I know Monster. Then obviously JoJo's, and then I know Claymore.
You know Claymore?
I know Claymore, but I don't know.
the left middle one is the hit Disney show Boy Meets World.
I
I'm
thought
just
that-
inferring.
It is
just
not
from
that.
the picture, I thought that was like March Comes Like a Lion, but I don't. It's definitely not.
It's not. It was fantastic though. All right. So
yeah, give us the rundown.
yeah. So in the upper left corner, I'm so proud of myself for not having to do the hand thing for the left and right. Anyways, Nana, and then JoJo, Stone Ocean, and then what the fuck is this one called? Wait,
What is this one?
I forget what it's called, but it's really good. Oh, it's called Helter Skelter. Why did I forget that? And then Boy Meets Maria, Monster, Blue Flag, Enclosed Called Fat, Skip and Loafer, and Claymore.
Sorry,
Oh,
what was that
Skip
last
and
one with
Loafer.
fat?
Enclosed Called Fat.
Is that
So-
the one of the chick eating the sandwich?
Yes. So this one
Just like me.
and Helter Skelter are both like weird josei like body horror. And they're so
Oh.
good. They're crazy. But they're
Mm.
so fantastic. It's such a niche genre, but I'm very surprised there are more than one of them. And
Body
I like
horror.
What are
Yeah.
are there any of the other ones? Is Helter Skelter like the same thing or no?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what that one and Helter Skelter are. And I read both of those when we pulled that all-nighter and you guys were just playing Magic the entire night and I was just reading those manga.
What is
That was a good night, by the way. That was a fun time
That was very fun.
for
Is
some
it
of us.
Blue Cloud. What did you say? What's
Blue Flag.
Blue Flag? What is that one about?
That one's fantastic. I finished that entire manga last night. I was not going to read it all last night because I had started it and I was like, this has been on my list for a while and it's good so far. And I started reading it last night and I was like, I'm finishing this. It's fantastic. It's like, it's kind of a BL, but it's also very much not. It's just like, it's a very complicated story. It's super dialogue heavy.
Could
It's
you
about
Oh,
like,
I
could you
can't
give us
read.
like a genre rundown for all of these?
yeah. So Nana, kind of romance, but also just like drama. Should
Mhm.
just be going down in Nana. It's so entertaining. JoJo, you all know. It is
Mhm.
JoJo. There's no genre.
Yep.
Helter Skelter is josei, but also horror. Boy Meets Maria is drama and crying. Monster. I don't know what you categorize monster as.
Monster,
Drama.
like, yeah.
It's just the dude. Blue Flag is like, it's like romance coming of age, kind of. And Clothes Called Fat is horror. Skip and Loafer is pretty solidly shoujo, I would say. And Claymore is, it's like fantasy.
Claymore's good.
Claymore's really good.
Obviously, Urasawa just writes
Monster
everything
is
banger.
fantastic. I love Monster so much. I've read the entire manga and I've seen the anime twice.
I still
which
have to
is-
read or watch it. I read 20th
The
Century
anime and the
Boys,
manga
so-
are equally good.
Hmm.
Like, the anime adaptation is fantastic. The art style is so accurate.
If you need or are interested in more horror, I noticed when I was when I was going through my thing to pick mine, that I've actually read a lot of horror shit.
Mm.
So I've got some
I
of
only
them
like a
probably
very
aren't good
specific-
recommendations.
I only like a very specific kind of horror.
Hmm.
Like, I really like those because horror written by women, it just hits different for me. Horror written by men is kind of boring. Sorry to be a misandrist.
don't
yeah, you haven't
write-
read the good horror.
Yeah,
Junji
Skip-
Ito. You have not read Junji Ito, basically.
I read
I will take that away from that
Tomie.
statement.
I've read Tomie. Whatever the fuck that's called. Is that what it's called? That one's shoujo, actually.
And you
It's
say it
quite
was
good.
boring?
No, that one's good.
Exactly.
But
What is this conversation?
generally,
We are picking apart arguments.
Yeah.
What is? Let's see. We get a rundown on Boy Meets Maria,
yeah. So basically, it's about this guy.
or how about
He's-
just each of them?
Yes. So, Nana, two girls, and they meet on the train, and they figure out they're train to Tokyo, and they realize they're both named Nana. And then they, like, split up at the train station because they don't know each other. And miraculously, they run into each other touring an apartment and decide to room together. And then it's, like, relationship drama. One of them is dating a guy in the band, and then the other one starts dating the guy in the band, another guy in the band. And she gets pregnant, and she gets married. It's crazy.
Jeez.
So much happens.
Wow.
One of them dies. It's lovely.
Hey, spoiler.
It's
Jeez.
It's fine.
No.
I didn't tell you which one.
Is that why there's a 1 after Nana? There's only one of
There's
them
only
now?
one remains.
But sadly, Nana is on. I'm just gonna say it's on permanent hiatus. It's not gonna be finished because it's been on hiatus for like almost 10 years now.
Yeah,
Mm,
we'll get
I
him,
don't
we'll
know
get him
about
next
this.
year. Next year's
Yeah.
the year.
People
it's
on
coming
TikTok
back,
are like,
baby.
they're like, I hope she finishes Nana someday. I'm like, that's not happening.
You were in preschool when it stopped, when the
Yeah.
hiatus started. It
Yeah.
will not come back.
Yeah, it's not coming back. JoJo Stone Ocean. I feel like that's people know what's going on.
Yeah.
It's an anime.
everyone should know about.
Everyone should know.
JoJo's
all of
Bizarre
us,
Adventure
all of
Stone Ocean.
us at least know what's
Yeah.
going on.
Helter
Yeah.
Skelter is about this lady. She was like a very famous model in her time. And then she's like rapidly declining and being replaced by younger women. And it's about like her body image, her like public image issues. And she kind of like devolves into this crazed, like, she just goes insane. But it is
Oh.
fantastic. It's so good. Like, and the art is so cool. Boy Meets Maria. It's about one of the guys is absolutely obnoxious. And he meets Maria, or I cannot remember his actual name, who is an actor. Okay, it is a little problematic because they address the entire cross-dressing thing as a trauma response. Like, they're like, he does this because he's traumatized. And I'm like, that is maybe not the best, like, explanation for cross-dressing, you know? But the
Mhm.
story is fantastic. The art is really cool. It's like the characters are well done. I think it is one of the ones where I'm like, it could be replaced on my list. But it is still very good and I recommend it.
Quick tangent.
Yeah.
Have you seen Blue Period?
I have not.
They do a really good job of having a cross-dressing character and not making fun of it like in many older
Yeah.
animes
Yeah.
and manga.
I think that's always a struggle. And in Boy Meets Maria, it's not like making fun of it.
Hmm.
It's just like because the way like the main character first meets the guy. I feel bad for forgetting his name. I'm sorry. And I'm not going to look it up. Also sorry.
Oh.
But he meets him as Maria cuz he's an actor and he performs as like dressed as a woman.
Hmm.
And he meets him as her. And he's like, she's the most beautiful woman I've ever met. I'm like in love with her. And then yeah. But the entire thing is like he can only perform as a woman because his mom wanted a daughter and forced him to cross dress, and then he was also assaulted at some point. Yeah, so
Oh,
it's not the best.
so it's a heavy one.
Yeah. Oh, it's not. It is not
It's
lighthearted.
not a light afternoon
It
read.
just
It is
looks-
not a light afternoon read.
It just looks so pretty and like
No.
comforting.
It is not comforting. I was not comforted.
Daniel,
I was not comforted.
quick interjection. Is Blue Period the one that's getting an adaptation, or is that Blue Lock? Well, I know Blue Lock
Period
is
is
getting
getting an
one.
adaptation right now. It's
They
on
both
Netflix.
are? Oh, okay.
Wait, what? Blue Period's like an anime adaptation?
Yeah.
Blue Period's out.
It's all the way out.
Okay.
Yeah, it's on Netflix.
I had
It's
it
a Netflix
confused
thing.
with Blue Lock then.
Blue Lock is the soccer one. Blue Period is the art one.
I'm hyped for the stalker one.
What?
I just know they're gonna be sexy.
Blue Lock.
Hey yo.
Read the manga. It's not as good as Haikyuu,
Nah.
but it's good.
I
It's
love
Haikyuu.
Haikyuu.
Haikyuu bang.
So peak.
I'm
Monster.
yeah, oh yeah, go through the rest of yours. My bad.
Monster. It's so hard to describe. Like, it starts with the doctor. His name is Dr. Tenma. And he performs brain surgery on this kid and saves his life over someone else's. And then 10 years later, this is not really spoilers, but it kind of is. So,
It either is or it isn't.
well, it's like most people know the premise of Monster.
Mm.
You are
But,
talking
like-
to
No idea.
75% of this call that does not have any
Okay.
idea of Monster.
Yep.
But like,
Maybe keep the spoilers on the.
okay, but I cannot describe it without
Are there
I will try, I will
consequences?
try.
It's about the dude.
the dude and the guy he did surgery on and the consequences of that action and if it is his fault. It's fantastic. The thing about Monster that I really like actually that I don't know if everyone likes is it moves kind of slowly. Like it's very long and it takes a long time to develop.
Like One Piece.
Yeah, but it like the way Monster moves, which makes sense because it's set in Germany. Is it like it kind of like if you've ever watched like a European TV show, it feels like that.
I've been to Germany.
The Great British Bake Off.
It moves exactly like the Great British Bake Off.
Okay.
They're the exact same. Actually, Great
everyone's a
British Bake Off
monster.
is a live action adaptation.
Really? That's
Oh, yeah.
crazy.
A monster?
A monster.
Yes.
The Great German Bake Off. You don't hear about it, but they be doing different stuff in that one.
Oh no.
They're baking other things. Yeah. Blue Flag. It is about a guy and his childhood friend, and a girl approaches him because she likes his childhood friend and she wants him to help her. But then there's so much relationship drama. It is a true love triangle. Like
A true love triangle or a true love triangle?
a true love triangle. I don't know what the difference is.
You didn't,
Where's
like,
the hyphen?
Is
a
it true love?
triangle?
No. It's like
A
It is-
real love triangle?
yeah.
If you
Wait.
enjoy the love triangle aspect, you should read Rent a Girlfriend.
No, it's not a love triangle. No, here's what I mean by it is a true love triangle. It is not a love triangle unless someone is gay. Think about it.
Mm.
Yeah.
It doesn't work.
All right, I'll bite. Which guy likes who?
The tall one. In the
Is the
back.
tall one in the background and just looks
Yes,
shorter because of
in the
perspective,
background.
or
In the
He-
background. He looks shorter because of
And he's gay?
yes.
Which
And there's
one?
also a lesbian.
Put on
too.
the watch list.
Wow.
It's
the
not.
watch list.
There is no anime.
The watch
I'm
list.
sorry.
I
It's
watch manga.
fantastic. It's
Watching
so
myself turn the
good.
pages.
Have you guys looked at the stats in Annie list?
No.
For manga?
Yeah, you can see some interesting stuff.
They're like
Oh.
page
No,
what-
because
turn.
I haven't
Most
entered any of
popular
them.
genres.
Does it show up?
Okay, maybe this
on-
is for me and Nick, but if you go to the website, I don't know if you can see it on.
Let me take a
mobile,
look. Let me
but-
take a look at this website here.
My mean score is 7.5.
Oh, you're talking about on your own profile?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
I'm on his
under
account
stats?
right now.
Yes. If you go to stats, then there's anime stats, and then there's like overview, and you can see like
Oh, manga stats overview.
what your most popular year is.
It says, oh, hold on. Here we go. Overview. My most popular release year is 2018. Interesting.
Same for me, actually.
What's
are
your
you guys
oldest one?
reading?
What's your my oldest is 89.
Mine is 99, but I got 2.
I only got one. I got one all the way up to 2010, and then it goes up.
And if you can look at genres.
Oh wait, under where? Oh, I see.
Yeah, on the side.
Okay, some of these are not okay. I guess that's kind of dramas. I'll be dramas my top.
feel like
Sports
there are
is my
some-
least.
I feel like most things are drama in some way.
Yeah, I mean it's got all the way from my youth romantic comedy as wrong as I expected to Attack on Titan. So I think that's a pretty big
Yeah.
Pretty
My
big
most
genre.
Big
is-
window.
I have the most comedy chapters read, but I have the most romance different things read.
I'm the opposite. I have the most romance chapters read, but then comedy's up in my other thing.
Mm.
It's actually a
Dan-
pretty big difference.
Can I jump back to Daniel's list for a second?
Sure.
Why? Why would you do that?
Where was this, Daniel?
When you say
Oh.
this, what do you mean?
What do you mean? Where was it?
You know, looking at my
What a
camera.
scandal.
It wasn't on there.
What happened?
That's so embarrassing. No, okay. So I was trying to remember what I've read, and I was like, shit, I need to read one more. I guess I'll read New Normal. I forgot.
It's all good. We'll catch
Wow.
you some slack. We'll say that you didn't put it on because you're also watching it.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Because I think a lot of mine I didn't put on. I didn't think or put on ones that were like mainstream animes as well.
But that doesn't hold true to me because I have God of High School on there.
We'll just.
Actually,
Don't worry
6
about
of
it.
mine have anime.
I wonder if any
but
of
none
us,
of them are caught up.
Gus. I think you and I might have one that matches. But I'd be interested to see if
Yours
any
is
of
I
the
in
rest
have
the
of
no
us.
drive,
one.
so hold up. Let me...
Well, we can just wait and see when we put them up too.
Okay, what do I have? I have one with Daniel. I'm counting JoJo's for Nicole because I have a JoJo's one.
Oh yeah, Nicole. Do you mean part 6 specifically, or all
Yes.
of JoJo's?
I mean part 6 specifically.
Oh, okay. Tragic.
Because otherwise I would have put the other part.
I don't know if any of ours are the same, Nick.
Oh, then maybe we did. Then maybe the one I was thinking of we don't have.
Ha.
Or wait, no, maybe you just didn't read that one. Oh well.
We have
Um,
do you
Okay,
wanna
anyways.
put
Yeah,
Nick's
let's-
up?
Let's have Nicole go through the last couple of hers.
Last 3
Yes.
because we're on blue flags. Good.
Yes.
So
Blue
many
Flag is
blue
fantastic
something.
though. Like none of the characters I was like uninterested in. Like I wanted to know about all of them. They're all good. It was one of the best manga I've read in a long time.
Some
The
high
ending-
praise.
Yeah, it was really good. The ending, it's very dialogue heavy. They talk a lot. And the ending felt kind of rushed, but I also have read some stuff about it that makes it make a lot more sense. But I'm not going to say anything because it's a very big spoiler. Yeah, but in Clothes Called Fat, it's about like a woman in a long-term relationship struggling with body image issues and like
The classic.
anorexia. Yeah, it's not good.
What an
It's like,
overused trope.
Isekai enjoyer, shut the fuck
ha
up.
ha ha ha. Have you
Does
ever
not
wondered?
understand what sarcasm is? God, I'm like in a call with a bunch of
Bruh, that's
refrigerators.
But also, this one is by
by?
Hideaki Anno. Shut the
Oh,
fuck up.
wait.
It's
Oh,
by
what
his
else of
wife.
his? Oh, his wife. Okay.
By his wife.
I was to say he wrote that.
No, he did not. His wife did.
that's cool.
Yeah, his wife
They're-
is very cool. Her art style is awesome.
They're
Manga
both
power
writers.
couples.
He does primarily anime actually.
That's
Because
cool.
Ava was not a manga first. It was anime primarily. Skip and Loafer is just really cute. It's about this girl who moves to Tokyo from a small town. And she's super uptight. She's super she is like very fixated on her career and stuff. And she meets this guy who he literally reminds her of her family's dog. They have the same name.
I feel like that's a common trope of
Oh
people
yeah,
being reminding people of dogs.
yes. It's so cute though. And she like makes friends and is so awkward and it's great. It's great. Made me happy, made my heart feel full. No sadness
Nice.
so far.
Relate to his golden retriever energy.
And then the banger.
Yeah, and then Claymore. Claymore is very lit. The anime, not so lit. I tried it. I was bored.
More anime is misery.
Is not good.
It's not like exceptionally bad in any one way. It's just not. It is quite overused, but it's like mid.
Yeah,
Mid is like a good way to describe everything about it.
yeah, I would agree with that. But it's a very cool story. The basic premise is there are these bitches and they got demon in them, and they fight real demons.
They're just like me.
The demon inside.
Yeah. You haven't seen it. Oh,
I
I don't let
haven't.
them out often. Only when I'm fighting other demons.
uh,
I never lose though. Don't worry.
All right.
wait, what was I just? What
He's
does that
lost it.
remind?
He's lost it.
Oh, what am I thinking of?
It's gonna be really fun.
Oh, it's
20
like
seconds to cut.
it's kind of like fuck. It's kind of like in a way, it's kind of like Madoka Magica.
Explain.
You've got the demon inside fighting other demons.
Kind of.
Very
Wow.
basic.
That's a
And
bad
I've
way.
only
Kinda.
seen the first movie.
Couldn't you also relate that better to like the last arc of Black Clover?
Shh. That's too
Go and watch
similar.
this Black Clover.
And Gus doesn't want to bone a nun. Or maybe
What?
he does. I won't
Are we
talk to
trying
him.
to relate to?
Hold
Who
on.
wants to bone a
what?
nun?
I mean,
That's the entire plot of Black Clover. His goal,
I would consider it.
he's not trying to be the Wizard King to be the Wizard King. He's trying to be the Wizard King so that he can bone a nun.
I was thinking with your very tiny,
That sounds like a
tiny
really fun
peanut-sized
anime.
brain is that character with demon, and then another character with demon are fighting literal demons. Ooh,
No. I can think
that's
more
what Black
than that.
Clover is.
Yeah, that's too similar.
That's too similar. When it gets too similar, they
makes
become
too
the
much
opposite.
sense.
All right.
That makes too much sense.
It's
It's not a
too-
comparison if they're too similar.
Too easy to draw that parallel. I gotta
You
go
should just
more
cut-
outrageous.
You gotta
You
reach.
should- You
It
should
has
cut
to be
this
a
all out because you just sound stupid.
I'm not cutting any of it.
If you're worried about your
Get in the comments. Agree with me.
get in the comments.
Get in the
Uh,
comments.
Shit in the comments.
You wanna present next, Nick?
Yeah, I can do mine.
Thank you, Nicole,
Um,
for your
so-
3x3.
For my
Nicole's off.
obscure
Get
3
my
Did
absolute
you
banger
put
up
yours
there.
anywhere? The only place
Yeah, we-
Oh,
I
pulling it
just
up on my
I
phone
pulled
right
it up
now.
on my phone where it's in
Oh,
the middle
from
of
the thing?
It's a picture of his computer screen where
I'll put it in.
it's in the middle.
Hold on. My bad. I'm getting it up there.
What was the name of the manga where the boy's a dog?
All right,
essentially,
it's in the thing.
where it has energy like a dog. Nicole. What
Skip
was
and
that?
Loafer.
Skip and Loafer.
Yeah, Skip and Loafer.
Thank you.
It's very cute. It will make your heart very happy.
I need a good cry. You know, when I-
So cute, and it's like you got the whole thing where he like picks her over to the like more attractive girls. It's like a obviously targeted at like
Mm.
nerdy girls.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
It's very sweet.
I think we need more of that because we have a lot that just targets like nerdy guys that don't do anything at all, but just for some reason girls like them.
Yeah.
Like every single thing Nick has ever fucking recommended me. Oh my god, dude.
Hey, no receipts. Bring them out. Prove it.
Receipts? What is that? The fucking rom-com that's fuck, what was it?
I mean,
Even Monogatari.
any
Even
rom-com is
Monogatari.
that
Why the
same.
fuck do
Any
they all like him? What is his appeal?
he
That
he
page is
helping them. He fixing them. He
You're
fixing.
Okay.
gross. You're
Just
gross.
presenting your damn motherfucking 3x3, alright?
All right. So, starting top left, we got Berserk. If you've read Berserk, you can't not put it on. It's so good.
This is like the classic
This
manga
is the
bro.
yeah.
Define red. You mean finished?
If you are fully
Okay.
caught up with Berserk, you can't not put it on there.
Dodged a bullet with that one.
In the way that Daniel is the shonen guy for anime, I am the seinen guy for manga.
Mhm.
We got Berserk top left, then top middle. That's Yokohama Kadashi Kiko. They never really translate it, but the closest I could get is Yokohama shopping trip or Yokohama shopping log.
Let's
It's-
go.
They
Basically,
shop?
no, it's the daily life of
I'm not
this.
reading.
What? It's the daily life of
Where's the
this.
shopping arc?
It's the daily life of this sort of robot android alpha that's you can see on the scooter, who just runs this cute little coffee shop. Sort
Okay,
of sometime
amazing.
after it, you just kind of get it's like Earth's ecology basically has fallen apart, and she runs this cute little coffee shop in like this remote little Japanese town. And every
That's
once in a
gonna
while,
be me.
has to go into Yokohama
Me.
to get supplies for her coffee shop, and
It's
then
adorable.
she just sort of, it's like, oh, it is literally one of the best things I've ever read. It's so adorable.
You know I'm reading the shit.
So good. If I explain it, it'll sound so boring, but it is like
It does
every
not sound boring.
bit about it
sounds
is just,
lovely.
it's adorable. And then, yeah. Next, we've got Koku no Hito, the climber. It's about you just sort of follow this. What?
It's so funny because the title, I'm pretty sure it's literally just like person who climbs.
Yeah.
That's like the direct translation.
Yeah. I mean, because the English its English translation is just the climber.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
the same thing. It's about this like super solitary guy who in high school sort of finds rock climbing and then really likes the sort of draw of it, like it's just you versus the rock basically. And
That
then
sounds like a tough fight. You've
he
seen The Rock, right?
oh my god.
He spends his whole life trying to
Um,
beat the rock.
It's about drive. It's
And then he goes from rock climbing to he wants to climb actual mountains. But the thing with actual mountains is they're really hard to do alone. And so it sort of follows him. His goal is to climb K2, the most deadly mountain in the world. Which at first I thought that they kind of over dramatized for the show or for the manga. But if you look it up a little bit, 1 in 3 people who climb K2 does not come back. Or no, maybe it's 1 in 3 people that climbs it does come back. Whatever it is, if you do it, you're not very likely to
high
come back.
odds either way.
Either way, it's
Wow.
you're not winning. And that's
That
his
seems
goal,
like
is to
something
climb.
humans aren't built to do. That's
Yeah.
my take here. I don't think
Yeah.
people should be doing that. That's none of our business.
If we were meant to climb mountains, we would be as tall as them. Simple as
Or at
that.
least we'd be able to
Simple as
breathe.
that.
If you can't breathe, you shouldn't be there. That's my take.
That's fair. That's a really good point.
You know?
Hey, then he should be there because he can breathe up there.
I feel like that's not true. I feel like he's lying.
Oh, there's people who do.
The
You ever,
fraud.
you ever heard of Sherpas? They're literally they got
Does
the
he
buff
spend
to climb
years?
mountains.
Does he spend? Because the thing about Sherpas is that they like spend their whole life there.
He just
Like
built
they're
different.
adapted.
I mean, every once in a while, like, okay, not to go climbing nerd, but Uli Stek was
Uh-oh.
not a Sherpa.
I wonder why he likes this manga.
Was not a Sherpa. And was not born in Nepal. But he could climb absolutely nutty things with no oxygen.
Like
See,
peanut butter.
if you can do that, I think you go for it.
Yeah.
If you need an oxygen tank, get down. You're not allowed to be there.
He doesn't need the oxygen tank.
I know. That's cool. Good for him.
Anyways, the next one, that's Homunculus. It is another one of the best things I've ever read. The art is nuts. It's about this homeless sort of amnesiac guy who does like this experimental medical procedure on himself because I don't really remember why the fuck he wants to do it. He's got nothing going on, so he's like, might as well do this.
He's homeless, right?
And he lives in his car.
And why is he qualified to do an experimental medical procedure on himself?
He gets it done to him by the most goated character of all time.
It checks out. Don't worry.
Does he get paid?
I think he does get paid to do it.
Venmo.
Okay, that's worth it.
And this
for him.
procedure gives him the ability to see people's like innermost traumas. Like he sees them as like personified as their inner trauma. And it's really interesting.
Imagine creating a medical procedure so you could see people's trauma.
Well, that's not why it was created. It's this thing that everyone sort of gets something different from it. And what he got was that ability.
It's like a gift.
Yeah, it's really
What
good.
did other people get? What did other people get?
I don't know. No one else wants to do it because it's such a stupid procedure.
See, if he looked at me, he would see just like hours of wasted time watching crap.
Well, like if that was your innermost trauma, then he would see you as like a clock or something. Like that's sort of what it would be like.
Or like a disgusting...
Like a walking around clock, or just like a sitting there clock?
Read it.
I would be...
I just need to know the technicalities here.
I'd be a terrifying mess
works.
of just like horrible animes, like the characters just like mashed together, like patchwork of like different like...
It's like a clock, but a bunch of anime characters crushed into the shape of the clock.
It's like those Ahegao socks. It's like that. It's a clock.
That except dead bodies of anime characters.
So it's not actually like that, but you know, whatever helps you get the idea.
I think that's what it is.
Then we got Vagabond. Vagabond is so good. Everything about it is very well done. The art, the story, the characters' goals. It's like it basically follows this samurai guy as he wants to, because he wants to be the best under the sun. He wants to be the best swordsman that there is.
See, I love a good samurai anime or manga.
Yeah,
like
you should read it.
I also love like a good historical one.
Oh,
And
you would love it.
I fucking love historical manga.
What was
and like
that?
I started college as a history major, which makes no money. I don't know why I did that. But that shit is so fascinating. It's so fun. I love, especially when it's like well researched. Obsessed.
What was that one anime?
They even in Vagabond they even give you at the end of chapters. They'll like have little notes about the history of different parts that they wrote in.
I love that shit.
What's up, Gus?
The one anime about the black samurai that looked so good and then ended up being
Yasuke.
miserable.
God, Yasuke
was hilarious.
Yasuke was the first. What was it like? The first 2 or 3 episodes were
it was most of the first episode, and then suddenly it was this is banging. Black samurai living in this little village, gonna go on a mission with these weird stuff. Boom, mechs. Actually out of left field, and like the trailer had no indication of any of that happening.
Yeah, and they were like, oh yeah, it's based off the actual story of Yasuke, who is an actual black samurai. Like they literally avoided telling you that it was actually a dumpster fire. And so everyone was like, this is going to be fire. You watching that first episode? This is gas. This is so good. And then mechs.
And something else was on
mechs
fire.
and like wizards and some other stuff. God, it was such a so dumb. Yeah. So stupid. Then we got Gantz. Gantz is Gantz is weird. It's not okay. This isn't really a spoiler because it's like the first chapter, but you got this dude and his friend. They both die, or they're hit by a train.
Isekai?
Or maybe they're not. And they end up getting teleported to this room that a bunch of other people who may or may not have just died are also in. And then this thing tells them, like, hey, you've got to now find these aliens that are living on Earth, and you kill them. And if you kill them, or kill enough of them, you get to come back. Like, you get to come back to life and be chilling. And then it just gets more and more Fever Dream from there.
Love.
So no
Pretty
spoilers.
cool,
but
actually.
it's really good. I really like it.
Love a fever dream.
Motherfucking Ghost.
Motherfucking Ghost. This is on here because I am an Initial D fanboy.
I see
And
the
so-
car and I'm immediately a bit put off. I'm not.
So, okay, so here's the thing. Initial D was this old manga and then show about car racing and like night toge racing. And the main character was like this guy who he delivered tofu for his grandpa. And to deliver it to the resort that he always took it to, he had to drive up and down this mountain. And so he got really good at driving fast because he had to deliver them. And he would do the whole thing. He would have a little cup of water in the cup holder. And he knew that if he didn't spill the cup of water, then the tofu was all right. That's how he knew he wasn't too rough driving there. And then these like drift racers from this other part of Japan come to this hill, Mount Akina, because it's super windy and super crazy. And one of them is like driving up and down it, and then he sees, headlights behind him, and he's like, oh, someone's challenging me. And then just gets absolutely dusted by this old ass Toyota. And he's like, who is this? Who is Mount Akina's like superstar driver? And no one they can't find him because he's not a race driver. He's just this kid who delivers tofu for his grandpa. And then basically it gets more and more into like, they get him to like race these guys officially, and he's like walloping all these people in like really nice sports cars, and he's in this shitty old Toyota. And
I
the
don't
old
understand how that works.
It's-
I feel like cars going fast, I feel like that depends on how nice the car is, right?
in a straight line, oh yeah. But this is a downhill, and it's got uphills, and it's windy, and it's all about how you can drive it.
Like you're lying.
And the part that's epic is that old Toyota is called the Toyota Tirreno AE86. And it's old, and if tons of people love them solely because of this, like you bought a shitty car because you like an anime, it's not a good car. No matter what the manga makes it or show makes it seem like. And Toyota kept that model going. You've probably seen the car in the background of that driving around. That's the new Toyota 86. And this one takes place in this new, it's the same like universe, it's Tokyo. And gas cars are illegal. It's like in the late 2020s, gas cars are outlawed. They only use gas cars for like entertainment. So there's this racing series called MF Ghost where people with old gasoline powered cars race around these tracks on the public roads. And they have like drones following them, and people can tune in and watch the racers like race and shit. And basically the main character was trained by the main character from Initial D. Like that was his mentor. And he's doing all these races in this, again, slow ass Toyota against like Lamborghinis, Porsches, Ferraris, all this shit. And again, he is just walloping some of these guys. And it's not done yet. It's still coming out. They're making a anime for it. If you don't like cars, you probably won't like it. You might. It's pretty interesting. Just like some people like things that aren't necessarily what they're into, but it is very good. I can't wait for the damn anime. It's just gonna be so heat. Watch Initial D if you haven't. So good. Next, another one that's getting an adaptation, Hell's Paradise, or Jigo Karaku, which, for one, it's the title itself is like a monogatari sort of play on stuff. Because hell in Japanese, I think Jigoku, and then like heaven or paradise is Gokuraku or something, and they basically just smash the words together, like
Love when they
a lot
do
of the
that.
monogatari stuff. But very spoiler free, so that you guys can actually enjoy the show when it comes out, because it's gonna be heat. There's this ninja guy, and there's this island that supposedly has the elixir of life on it, and whenever people go there, they fucking die, and no one comes back. And so these people are like, let's send a bunch of prisoners to this island and say that if they get the elixir of life, they get freed. And then you got all these prisoners that go to this island, and that's the show or the plot. And then last got
I'd read it.
Land of the Lustrous, or Haseki no Kuni, depending on what you've seen it as. So
What's
good.
going on in that picture?
It is a.
They're all limbs.
It's
It-
very cool.
It is
I
so good. It's interesting. So Gus, you probably would know the most about this because you're taking Japanese right now. But given that the main characters, for one, so they're all named after different types of gemstones. And whatever gemstone they're named after is what they're made of, and it determines their strength, their hardness level, shit like that. But because they are rocks, they are all genderless because they're fucking rocks.
they all look like I don't know.
Yeah.
Not gender.
But because it's Japanese, you like have to basically apply gender to stuff, right? Like when you're talking, when you're, well, like, how would you say, how would you talk about yourself without giving it like boku or watashi? How would you?
You say watashi because okay, in classical Japanese, or I guess commonly, people will say boku if they're a male, or say watashi if they're a female. But literally, like watashi is just formal, and like it's basically everyone uses watashi, and like little boys use boku, except boku can be used by anyone. You might have noticed in Kill la Kill, the Grand Courtier or whatever it was, she used boku, and it's just like it in like the 1900s. It was a lot more common. It was a lot more separated, but like recently in the 21st century, it's become a lot less of super gendered, and especially compared to languages like Spanish, where literally everything has a gender. Japanese, it's like 90% of the time, you can't really tell.
Yeah.
Unless like you're being super specific.
Well, they do an interesting job because Nicole, you've seen some of the anime.
Yeah.
And they do, so when they have to, in like the subtitles, they use they, like whenever it matches. But a lot of the time in the subtitles, didn't it? Some of the times they just don't put anything. Like
they
would
their
just
name instead of
yeah, they would just
any
omit
pronoun.
like a whole part of a sentence rather than put, because the point is they want it to be genderless, the whole thing, every time they're
They want to be
talking about
clear
stuff.
that it's genderless.
Um,
Which I don't know why they wouldn't just put they the entire time.
yeah, who knows? But that's what they chose to do. So that one's also really good. It's got a adaptation that is a lot of CGI,
It
but
looks cool.
based on the way that the show is, that's sort of all you like. That would be the only way to do it justice, is to CGI most of it.
It's one of the first things I've seen where I've been like, that CGI looks good.
Yeah. For me, the first was 8686. A lot of the
I don't
mech
think the
parts
CGI
of it.
looks good, I'm not gonna lie.
Okay, well, El Bozo. I thought that CGI was, I was at least put upable with for me, and then the show just got really good. But this one, they did a really good job with the CGI.
Unpopular opinion about 8-6. I got bored in season 2.
Tragic.
Never saw it.
Haven't seen
Must have
it.
missed the point. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, Land of the Lustrous is another one that has been on hiatus for a little over a year now. Truly unfortunate because it ended on such a wild ending. I don't think the anime goes all the way to the ending of it right now, but
That would make
Nicole,
sense.
if you enjoyed it or the show, you should definitely read it because it gets
I'll keep
nutty.
this in mind. I probably will.
Yeah, that's all I
Yeah.
got.
What was the name of that one?
Land of the Lustrous.
Mm.
Oh yeah, I didn't even really go over the premise of it. There's the rocks, and they live on Earth, or what you assume to be Earth, and there's no
What used to
people.
be Earth.
There's no humans. There's just these rocks, and these like Buddhist-looking people come down from the moon.
They're like
Lunarians.
Lovecraftian monsters.
Yeah, they come down in these weird sunspots, and they try to capture the rock people because they make them into jewelry, and then the rock people fight against them. And
Imagine
it's
having
just
to fight someone to not be made into jewelry. That
but
would
it's
suck.
super cool because if they break, there's this one doctor homie who can just put them back together. And so every once
It's
in a while
so
they like
satisfying.
break a limb and it'll shatter, and then they have to be put back together like
To
Legos.
collage them back together.
Cool.
It's
like-
super good. I really like it.
It is a cool concept. It looks really cool. Yeah.
It's that.
Swag.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
I want to see Gus's right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Put him up because so far, not a single overlap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe
Well,
that
now
will go
it's-
away.
Okay. So I'll go over. Well, So me and Daniel both had God of High School.
Mhm.
I don't know how far you got, Daniel.
It's just on there. I wouldn't worry
It's
about
just
it.
on there.
It's
Okay.
just on
You've
there. Don't worry
read
about it.
some of it.
I've read some of it.
I'm caught up. It's currently releasing. But so it starts out like I don't know who's seen it, but it's basically for like the first 200 chapters, it's tournament arc the manga, where it's literally just people fighting in like a
Fun.
tournament. And it's really cool because the fight scenes are choreographed and it's like a bunch of different martial arts styles and like a variety of characters. It's really cool. Like,
That's quite cool.
yeah, the anime didn't exactly do it justice, but it's cool. And then from there, shit just goes crazy. Like, I don't want to spoil anything, but it's
I just know from where the anime ended off, you cannot tone it down from where it ended.
yeah.
Like all I remember is it's on my like I'm planning on reading it because when the anime ended, I was like, all right, what the fuck can happen now? Like they built this shit up so nutty. What can possibly
It
happen?
goes from like normal people fighting to so they have a really cool power system where basically you borrow powers from something like a god or someone who's
Huh.
good at fighting. And then they go from fighting like other martial artists to fighting gods. It goes completely insane at the end.
That's
And the
I
stuff
remember,
that's happening currently, it's like bizarre. You would not be able to get to the beginning and the end.
I remember I was like, all right, got a high school, and it was like fight like tournament, high school fighting tournament, and I was like, he's gonna be the best. Like God of High School means he's the best high school fighter, and then it was like, oh, no, they mean God.
Yep. And then the other one that I have that kind of overlaps, I put a JoJo's part 7,
Yeah.
Steel Ball Run. My personal favorite, I think it's the best part.
I want to start it, but I also like ethically, I'm like I have to finish Stone Ocean before I start the next
Yeah. They are technically different universes, kind of, but
one. But I feel like I still need
it's
to know.
it's the
you know?
respect.
Yeah.
Like you gotta respect JoJo. And
yeah.
I only put one JoJo's part up here. Because if I go to my list, I actually have I have parts 6, 7, and 8 as a 10. And so they all would have been up here. So a third of my
Okay.
3x3 would have been JoJo. So I just decided to put one, just to keep it fair.
We can just say it stands for all of JoJo's.
Yeah. I haven't read all of them, but
Or at least the
parts 6,
last
7, and
one.
8 they're so good. You gotta read them. You got it. Okay.
I'm so hyped.
And then starting from the top left, I have Haikyuu.
Oh yeah.
That
Yeah.
shit is gas.
I repped
Oh
the
my
shirt.
God.
I repped the shirt today.
W?
Haikyuu is peak. Haikyuu is so nostalgic for me too. Haikyuu is my first anime.
Yeah, there's so much like it was one of the first things that I watched, and like I had never read the manga for it, and I'd watched it like
Yeah.
years ago. And then I saw some TikTok about the time skip in Haikyuu, and I was like,
Mm.
huh?
I saw the time
It
skip
is
and I just thought, damn, they look sexy.
gas. Like it's so much fun watching like the anime. It's kind of close to being caught up, but it's like they're just playing volleyball, and then
Yeah.
like the plot twist that happened. It's
Yeah.
amazing.
How far?
And
How far are we from the time skip in the anime?
I can check.
Like, would the next season probably be the time skip?
No.
Damn
There's
it.
probably one more season, and then shit goes down, and then the time skip. And with the time skip, it's just like a bunch of stuff. Like you get little bits and pieces of what different characters were doing during that time.
I love any anime or manga with a time skip. I love a time skip.
And then
Seen
the
One
like,
Piece?
Well, you heard of One Piece?
I have heard of One Piece.
and then the ending part is like, you see all of the characters that were like playing each other, and it's like there's one last game. It's so good.
Oh.
If you like Haikyuu, it is only uphill, and the manga is so good.
That is good to know.
I've literally, I when did I read it a little bit ago. I've already reread the part after the anime again because it's so just amazing.
That is very good to know.
Only
I'm
uphill for Haikyuu.
I'm gonna have to read it.
Yeah.
I like for a while I was like, I just love watching it so much. I was like, I'm just gonna wait. And
Mhm.
now I'm like, fuck waiting, bro.
Yeah.
I am not waiting for that.
No reason to wait. It is crazy, and like even the stuff before the time skip that hasn't been animated yet, like it. When I watch Haikyuu, that's like one of the animes where I got the closest to crying because like it's so emotional. They're playing volleyball.
I agree.
And like when bad things happen, you're like, no.
I-
But
Yeah.
it's
I think
I
I
love
might have.
anime like that.
I think I
love
might have
anime.
almost cried at Haikyuu.
mhm.
I think
And
I've
like
cried at
when
Haikyuu.
they come back to win something,
Yeah.
I'm like, so good.
Have you guys ever cried at manga?
Yes.
I
I
The
have.
Rent a Girlfriend
Haikyuu?
manga.
I was crying last night at manga.
I cried at the Rent a Girlfriend manga.
I cried
And
twice.
if
last
Why?
night
you
at
caught
manga.
up to it, you would know the part I'm talking about. But
Someone better be like hit by a car or like slowly tortured over several chapters because there's no way I could see myself
I know
crying.
who's tortured. The readers.
The
And it's not
reader.
over several chapters.
That is
it's over
okay.
the entire
readers
yeah,
were tortured
let
by
me
fucking
rephrase that. I've
reading
cried
Rent a
twice.
Girlfriend.
I've cried twice at Rent a Girlfriend. One was a sad part. The other part was every time there's a new chapter, and somehow he can write an entire chapter where nothing happens, and we end up at the same point. It took.
He's just trying to
Some-
sell them now.
There's
I know
somewhere.
people who talk like that.
There's somewhere on my Twitter where I had to go back and screenshot it because I saw the panel and I was like, I'm going to kill myself. And it was the first time in Rent a Girlfriend where the main character decides for himself that he's going to confess to Mitsuha. And then 200 and something chapters later, there is damn near the exact same panel where he is also saying to himself, I'm going to do it. I'm going to confess. And at that, I was like, what happened
We
in
made it. We
200
made it.
chapters? We came full circle to the exact same point. It's
So-
crazy. But
so-
actually, something I do, as much as I hate on it, every time a new chapter comes out and nothing happens, I cannot wait for the next chapter because something happened. It probably isn't that big now
No.
that I think about it, but compared to the 200 chapters of fuck all happening the entire time, something has happened. And
That
it
I
is,
reminds me
think-
of solo
And
leveling.
honestly, at this point, they're just dragging it out for the money.
oh, for sure. I hope that the anime can just speed run most of it because 200 chapters
What's it
take.
published in? Where's Rent a Girlfriend published?
The fucking trash can. I don't know. Probably
Jump?
Jump or like Jump.
feel like it's
No,
not
it's
in
weekly,
Jump.
so it's not Jump Plus. I don't know.
Who knows?
Not me.
Definitely.
Do y'all know people that just like are like Rent a Girlfriend, where they can somehow talk and just fill time, but they actually don't say anything?
Some
Me?
people.
Sometimes. I
That's
feel
like
like I do that.
That's like a self fallout.
That's
No,
kind
but
of Jackson. Have you ever been alone in a call with Jackson?
We love Jackson,
Not
by
your
the way.
friend Jackson, Nick, but this other guy. Except
Yeah.
Jackson, just he's always talking about something like that has a point, kind of. It's not like
it's like Rent a Girlfriend.
nothing's happening. Not exactly. It's
But,
kind
like,
of like
Does
that.
it have a
Stuff
point?
is kind of
Does
happening.
Rent
It's like if
Girlfriend have a
Rent a
point?
Girlfriend only had one character.
This is for my friend who said she listens to this. This is for Natalie. This is a call out.
Damn.
I was at a volunteering event, and you know this person, Natalie. And I was nice to her once, and then she talked to me the entire time, but we talked about nothing. Like hours of my time was spent listening to her, but nothing was achieved at all.
That's
Oh
kind of
my,
a talent. That's
yeah,
impressive.
it was horrible. It was, I was
I
like,
as much as like in a lot of situations that's just a detrimental thing to have about yourself. There's so much stuff that like requires. Like especially I've noticed it right now because the Rainbow Six invite is going on, like basically the world championships you could say.
Oh, interesting.
And to be the caster for like basically any sport, but I'm noticing it watching that, like you just have to be able to talk.
true.
Because
Yeah,
everyone
that's
watching it knows what pretty much is going on. So they don't really need a play by play, but you just have to be able to fill time.
definitely a skill.
Oh yeah, I like as much as I can talk and get nothing out, I don't know if I could talk that much and stay even remotely
Yeah.
entertaining for that
Yeah.
long.
Yeah. All right, moving on. The next one on my list, One Punch Man. Now, who I don't
I
know
have
how many of
read
you.
some of One Punch Man. I'm not
Yeah.
all the way.
I've
Seen
heard
it.
a lot about One Punch Man.
Oh my! I just remembered that the way I originally read One Punch Man was I would check it out, check out the ebook from the library, and read it on my phone. I just remembered that. I did that like years ago for the first few
So
volumes.
ethical.
Wow, I was really goated. But One Punch Man is amazing. I love One Punch Man. It's like
I think I'm just
making
somewhere.
fun of superheroes.
Mm.
I
Kind
love
of.
stuff like that.
I think I'm just somewhere in the monster arc right now.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know where, but
It's kind of making fun of like overpowered powers, kind of, because the main character, the plot is he can one punch anything, and it's like you think this is gonna be the most boring shit. It's villain shows up, it's gone. Except it's like there's like a lot of the main character is like working to become super strong for a while, and then he gets this power, and he's bored now, and like, and
Mm.
also because he's just this dude who bald dude with a cape flies around and punches things, and everyone is like, this guy is a fraud. He's just stealing the kills from everyone else. And there's like 4 characters who know that he's super powerful, and it's so cool seeing like the different character designs for all the different superheroes, and like the
Mhm.
relationships and sort of like the mental turbulence the characters go through. And it's not just like this one dude one punching everything, because you know he's gonna beat things, but you're seeing like the other characters fight, and then he comes in and saves the day, kind of.
Mm.
And it's really good, and it's so funny. And the author who won, he is a genius writer. Like, I
yeah. Are we
know a lot
talking
of
the
you
One
guys.
I've
Punch
heard
Man? Are we
of them.
talking the webcomic or the?
Never.
Okay, the webcomic is hilarious for a completely different reason. Because one, amazing writer, his art skills, it's there. But the author for the actual manga or the artist for it, that motherfucker is crack. The panels that he draws are absurd.
The
Manga
panel
artist
where he
or-
punches so hard that he splits the clouds
that like full spread, that is one of the most nutty things I've ever seen.
It's so cool. And like the monsters, actually, if you go into the other Discord server, where
Oh
someone posted,
yeah.
it was Jacob posted. Where is it? Is it in general? Yeah, in general, the second to most recent picture. Like, just look at that dude.
I will
That's
take
just
a
your
gander.
average. That's your average everyday manga panel from that artist. It's crazy.
It's wild.
Yeah, it's a good one. I suggest it. And the author also wrote Mob Psycho 100, which is another banger.
Oh, really?
Yep.
It was the same author?
Yep.
I did not know
One
that.
did that one too?
Yeah.
Oh, wild.
Very
love
very
Mob.
similar but different plots because
Mob
like OP
Mob
main
Psycho
character.
is so fucking good.
Yeah.
I like
They're
the
very
anime.
cool.
The
I
anime-
love a good overcoming adversity story.
I think the thing about Mob is it's not even adversity. He's
I'm
just
talking about
so
One Punch
sweet.
Man.
Shut up! I'm talking about Mob now.
He's bald, and he overcame that shit.
That's
Yeah,
fact.
that's true.
That's
That's
the
true.
adversity.
The comedy in the One Punch Man is hilarious. It's so good. Yeah, it's a good. It's a banger. Okay,
My
next.
thing with shonen is that I think it's okay if it's not funny, but if it's funny, I will love that shit. It's fantastic. I love funny shonen. It's always good.
Okay. I can't think of any funny
One
shonen
Punch
right
Man
now,
might
for some reason.
also be considered seinen. I can't remember. No, never mind.
Yeah.
What's your
Part
next
of it
one?
was.
I'm actually like
Okay.
looking through the rest of Gus's. I'm interested at some of these because I thought I would know
Okay.
a lot more of them, but like,
I
only know
have
two.
some
I
I have some
only-
spicy things in here. All
I
right.
only know 2 remaining.
It's that middle one,
Okay.
but we'll get there. We'll get there.
We'll get there. The next one is Record of Ragnarok. That one is a banger. That
What's it
one's
about?
kind of like God of High School. So every 1,000 years, the gods have a meeting to decide if humanity should continue existing. And so it's the 1,000 years, and they're having this meeting, and they decide humanity, get rid of them. It's a failure. Look at us. If you were a god and you saw what we were doing, we'd be gone. But one of the I don't know what they're called, like Valkyries, I think.
Yep.
Yeah, is like, wait, we should have a fight between the greatest men and the greatest gods. And so
Yo.
basically, it's like gods from all sorts of different religions battling against like some of the most famous people from like humans.
That's kind
And-
of fucking awesome. I love a crossover.
You'd think like, oh, it would just be like Hercules and stuff like that. But the characters, there's like a whole variety. And
Is
like,
Isn't like Jack the Ripper in it somewhere?
yep,
That's
actually
fucking
Hercules
dope.
is in it. The fights are crazy. It has the best fight choreography out of like anything ever.
That's
And you
very
never
cool.
know who is gonna win. And all the characters
Then-
are like just completely insane.
Don't the
That's
humans
awesome.
get like the Valkyries as like weapons? The Valkyries
Yep.
just become
Yeah.
swords and shit. That was cool.
That's awesome.
And then they made a PowerPoint presentation for the Netflix show.
The fucking anime was so bad. But every
Which is-
time I see a clip of it, I'm like, it would be gas. And then I go read the manga again.
Yeah.
And
Aw.
the way they depict the different gods, like you see it, they're always the
Who
same.
are the 2 on the cover?
Big buff dude. So that was the first fight. And one of them is Thor, and the other one is Lu Bu, I think. He's a
Yeah.
I'm guessing
Chinese
Thor
folklore
has
guy.
red hair.
Yeah. And you see in like the Western media, Thor is like, you think of the fucking Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah.
But this guy, they're like look completely different. And
That's
like
dope.
Zeus, you think a big buff dude. The way Zeus looks at this, he's like a skinny dude who then turns into like an actual giant with like
That's kinda
crazy
lit.
muscles.
That's fucking
like-
cool.
There's not all the fights have been animated or have been put in yet, but there's like 13 versus 13.
I
And
love.
it's really cool. And the choreographing is really cool, and the variety of characters, and just the hype around who's fighting who next.
Mm.
Like I'll list some of the characters who fought. So there's Thor, Lubu, Jack the Ripper. Jack the Ripper versus Hercules. That fight was amazing. That sounds so weird, but it was so good. And then it was like there's this one sword guy. I can't remember any of the names except for the
There's
Greek gods.
Adam
There's
and
Zeus and-
Zeus.
Adam and Zeus.
yeah,
That
and
fight was
Adam.
hilarious. And then Buddha fought someone. There was
Didn't
Poseidon.
Isn't
Yeah.
the Buddha like
Dude. In the manga, Poseidon is the coldest motherfucker ever. Swear to God. That dude just... He's just like expressionless with a swag ass spear just stabbing.
so
And
lit?
then I think the current fight is Hades versus some king of
Elon
China.
Musk.
Okay. Fortunately, that man isn't in this show, in this manga. God bless.
Petition to put Elon Musk in the manga.
And the remaining characters, you're like the people that they chose from history are like, I think there's like Nostradamus is one of the characters who hasn't fought yet.
Interesting.
It's like weird.
That's an
But, yeah.
interesting combination of people. Isn't
It's
Buddha
really,
a pacifist?
really good.
Isn't that like the whole thing?
Don't worry about it in this case.
It's really cool because you get the background of all of the characters who fight.
Huh.
It's like you see them fight and then you'll see like how they became the way they are and like all their weapons are really cool. Like Thor's hammer, you see it
That
like,
was
Mm.
dope.
this man just got a regular hammer in like the Marvel universe. The motherfucking hammer in this, that hammer is built wrong. It's like giant and like looks weird.
Has like a
It's-
beating heart.
Mm-hmm.
That's
It was
awesome.
wild.
That's so
Yeah.
dope.
It's really cool. I'd
That's so
suggest it for
creative.
like anyone because
Yeah.
there's like a historical aspect and like you see fighting and like
That's quite cool.
it's funny. It's a good one.
Gus, what's
Love.
that middle one?
That one it's called Tadakoro-san. It's I don't know if it's like that good, but so what's the plot? It's basically so it's a GL about this one girl who's a manga artist and she has like basically her girlfriend is like this super cool girl and she's drawing this manga where the main character is based off of her girlfriend and it's so cute and like the art style is really good and
Love.
That does sound adorable.
What is the name of this one?
I
again?
love it. Tadokoro-san.
Ah.
You should
I
check it
feel
out.
like I've heard of that one.
It's really cute. I like it a lot.
I've
It's
probably
fun.
heard of it.
And the art style is really cool.
I
and
love that.
very
I love a
original.
surprise good art style.
Yeah.
Where you were not expecting it.
Funny, cute. I like it a lot.
Perfect.
And then I already went over God of High School. Next one is I've seen a lot of different names. It's like Other Side Picnic, I think.
I've heard
Oh,
of
this is that one?
Yeah. This one is crazy.
Isekai
So
Picnic.
yeah, that's literally basically what it is. But this one is bizarre. It's so there's these two girls and there's like these weird anomalies where you go to the other side, which is basically the scary version of Earth where normal people can't see these monsters. They see like these weird things, but the girl on the left with the glasses and the gun, she can
Wait,
like
they're holding
see
guns. I just
Yeah.
noticed.
Yeah, it's crazy. She can see the monsters for like what they truly are, and then they basically fight and kill them. Except the monsters are like they're based off of like Japanese folklore kind of things, and it's like it's really weird and psychological.
I've heard a
horror.
lot about the Other Side Picnic actually.
It's very interesting, and I like it a lot. I think there's an anime coming out for it soon.
That's what I was
It's really
hearing about it.
cool. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
I-
Oh, that's
I-
awesome.
Yeah. I don't know how it would look animated. It's so hard to
Yeah.
explain, but
Yeah.
it's cool.
That
They
one's
saved
been
the
on my
US
list before,
military.
Hey
That
yo.
was funny. Yeah, that one's weird.
Love.
The next one, what is the name? Hold up, let me find it on my list. I don't wanna mess it up. I wanna.
J and K.
J.K. Chan to Tomodachi no Akan, which basically translates like, uh, it doesn't translate very well, but it's it's fucking hilarious. So basically, there's this girl, and she likes her classmate's mom, except her classmate is this dude, and the dude is like, "Oh my god, she wants to come over to my house. She must like me." Except she's actually going for the mom. It's
That's
hilarious,
awesome.
and it's like a
No
comedy,
flincher.
funny. It's like just a couple chapters. Okay,
That's
80
so fun.
chapters, but
Just a couple.
they're short. They're short, and it's just funny. She gets the mom. Is based.
She does?
Yeah, it's
They-
hilarious.
Fire.
That one, the way I rated stuff, I talked vibes. The vibes with that one, immaculate. And like the
Imagine
mom
your
runs this cute little
classmate
cafe.
getting with your mom.
Yeah.
Imagine.
Yeah.
That's
I
crazy.
can't.
Yeah.
Except my mom is a teacher, so I more don't want to think about that.
Mm.
And then the last one on my list is Tower of God. I don't have any of you. I think some of
I've
you saw
watched
the
it.
anime. Yeah,
I've
the anime was
seen
pretty
it.
good. The art is definitely, I think it's better in the manga, and
Mhm.
it's hard to do it justice because again, it's really hard. There's a lot of stuff going on. Basically, so there's this dude. His name is the 25th Bomb, which I think is night in Korean. And so there's this tower, and the tower chooses people to go into it and climb the tower. And it's like at the top of the tower, there's unknown riches, and you can have superpowers, and no one has been to the top. And so but there's also the irregulars who force their way into the tower. And so Bomb is one of them. And then it's all about he's climbing the tower, and like he has all these friends that he's met along the way, and sort of
How big is
everyone's
this tower?
uh
Like,
so
how long has it taken him to climb the tower?
it's not
There's challenges
like
and shit.
it's not like a
Okay.
tower that would be able to exist in our world, because like each floor of the tower is like its own universe basically.
Mm.
And there's
It's
like
like the tower. It's like the one in SAO. Or not
it's
even.
like that except
Yeah.
even more crazy.
Mm.
And I don't remember how many floors there are. I think like the one dude who's considered the king of the tower climbed like up to 140, and then he stopped, but he didn't really reach the end. But like in order to climb up, there's like all these different challenges, and you get stronger as you go up, and there's so many different characters.
Mm.
Like it's about how the main character is like everyone else has their reason for climbing the tower, and his reason was to find his girlfriend. Except turns out his girlfriend's a bitch. All right, everyone
Yeah,
hates
fuck-
the. Yep,
Fuck her.
yep.
Hate her.
Fuck her.
And so they want basically the tower sucks. It's like super capitalist society. The people at the bottom they sit there, and so they want the irregular Bomb to basically kill the god of the tower, and like it's about how he's climbing the tower just to climb the tower, and no one else wants to do that, and they want to use him for power, and like you get to see them become stronger, and the power system is really cool, and there's a bunch of different characters, and you see them grow and develop, and yeah, it's a good one, very interesting.
Hmm.
Yeah. See, that's the kind of like.
At the very least, watching it is good.
Yeah, that's the kind of thing I can get into. Like something where
Mhm.
it's like a. Like, I'm not a battle shonen fan, but something where it's like a prolonged, like, series of fights that are leading in like a very specific direction.
Mm.
I'm like, I can get into that. I like that.
Mhm.
You mean like One Piece?
I was about to say the same
Yeah.
shit.
Oh, here's my thing about One Piece, because I was thinking about this. I live on my own right now, and I have to monitor my own time and be responsible for my own life. But I feel like One Piece is a show you watch when you don't have to give a fuck about anything. So my plan is I'm going to watch One Piece when I move back in my parents this summer. Because then
Fair
I'm just
enough.
gonna like.
You could also read the manga for One Piece because
That too. That's probably faster. I
It's
take it back. That
faster.
is faster.
it's the pacing is better, but like
We'll
up to
see.
you.
We'll see.
I have a quick note.
Yes.
Nicole,
Yes.
in the name directional mic implies the direction that it points. So you may want to point it there.
Hey man, I don't want to hear it from fucking mouth sounds ASMR. Every time you were talking, I'd hear like a swallow, and I was like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, whatever.
Imagine having the L mic like you three do.
My mouth was
Couldn't be
split.
me.
That's on you.
Oh,
I don't
got the
know,
flex
Gus.
mic. I
Also,
can
if
put it
it's-
anywhere, I sound the
No.
same.
No, for some reason, your sound will come first, and then your mouth will start moving. Like there's a disconnect between your
No,
audio
Nicole's was doing
That's
that a
just,
second ago too. That's
that
just
just
the
Discord?
Discord lag.
That's just your shitty computer, Daniel.
I ju-
Shitty Wi-Fi. Imagine having bad
yeah.
Wi-Fi.
Yeah, that's a good
Imagine having
point.
bad Wi-Fi.
That's a good point. My
Yeah,
bad, guys.
Daniel was lacking on that ping when we were playing Siege last night.
Was I?
Can we get a ping check? Everyone click on your video connected. What's the ping?
How do you check?
So click video connected, bottom left of Discord. It should say average ping.
Oh. I'm chilling at 12.
Damn. I got 14. Sad.
I have 7.
Wait, 7?
Yeah, because I have fucking crazy internet here.
How you lagging?
I'm not lagging. You guys are the ones lagging. I'm the only one that's in the now. Y'all are behind.
What's the future like?
Everyone's behind.
It actually might be my camera because
It could
I'm
be.
using built-in laptop camera.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah,
Of
yeah,
a-
it could.
Camera.
Laptop
my-
that I'm pretty sure the Wi-Fi card is melted.
My setup looks so janky because my good Logitech webcam, for some reason, when Streamlabs is open, Discord won't use it because Streamlabs is
Oh, that-
using it,
Yeah, that makes sense.
but Streamlabs is not using it. Like, it gets the little blue light, so I know it's on, but Streamlabs also thinks it's being used by something else. So I actually have 2 webcams.
You figure that out.
Yeah, oh well.
Interesting.
Computer is gaslighting you.
Well, I in future episodes, I would like to talk about what I'm currently reading, only because I had to panic read a couple chapters of everything so I would have enough. So if you'd like updates every once in a while,
Daniel's
I will-
9 is actually the 9 that he read last night.
my 9
No.
is the bare minimum that I've read. Or the maximum actually. My bad.
Yeah.
I did include things that I had barely started / have read, like 3 chapters of, like Skip and
respectable.
Loafer. Skip and Loafer, I've read like, actually, I've read like 7 chapters of Skip and Loafer, and
Yeah.
like
I'm
4
not
of Claymore because they're long, and then all of Blue Flag last night.
I'm not done with Gantz, but
Mm.
it also is almost 400 chapters. So
I think I need to read Berserk, but I need to commit to actually reading it.
Berserk, here's the thing with Berserk. It doesn't even end up being oh no, I got to commit to reading it, because that shit is so good. Like once you
Yeah.
start it, once you start it and once the weird timeline thing gets sorted out, then it just reads super smoothly. I'm not really sure why he put the way that he chose to do the timing at the beginning, but oh well.
Interesting. We will see. See if I'm too close to it. It's too sensitive.
No, it sounds good.
It keeps popping. I keep hearing it pop.
Not.
Discord be
Was-
cutting that all out
This
for
has been
you.
this has been a thrilling outro.
Any more
Uh,
questions about my 3x3?
I
Oh, where is Destroy All of Humanity? It can't be regenerated.
You know, I didn't even think about that one. That one, that's the Magic the Gathering manga. That one's funny.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That sounds fun.
I think I would like it more if I'd been playing Magic in like the 90s. But tragically, I was not alive. Because they'd be talking about like the decks that they played in that era. And
Oh.
I recognize like 2 of the cards. But that one's cool.
Is anyone let me actually direct this. Gus, have you read any Mercenary Enrollment?
Never heard of it.
Oh. It's another good manhwa about this mercenary guy who is like a teenager. And so he comes back to high school but he's like a literal world-class killer. And so he'd be like doing all this side stuff outside of high school, like taking down crime organizations. But then every day after school, he'd go into the PC cafe to play League with all of his friends. He got the good balance. He's like unbeatable at fighting, and then he's absolute dog water at League. It's so funny.
Based.
It's
He
I
just
even
don't
gets
read.
there's one part where he's bodyguarding for this like super famous, I don't forget if she's like an idol or a model or something. And she asks him like what he likes to do in his free time, and he mentions League, and then she just roasts the shit out of him when he tells her what rank he is. It's
someone
so
just wrote
funny.
that manga to make themselves feel better about being shit at League.
There's one part where they're in the PC cafe playing League, and this like group of guys from another school comes in to like play, or no, I think they're like mad at them or something for something they did. And one of the guys tells him, he's like, "Nah, you can go deal with them right now. You're not going to have an effect on the game right now or anything." And he just gets up from the match, fights all these guys, and then comes back. It's
I want to check it
absolutely
out.
based.
What was it? What was it again?
Mercenary Enrollment.
That
Alright.
sounds
Also, do
so
any of
interesting.
you guys remember whether or not I don't know if you put them on or not, but the first manga you ever read,
Mm.
God damn.
or that you
Well,
can remember reading?
Well, like,
The first one that you really got into, not
'cause
like something you read at the
mm.
library years ago.
I don't want to
Oh, but I was on the
admit to what
grind
these
at the
are.
library.
I'll admit to what my first one was because I'm
I
still
don't
reading
want
that shit.
to.
The first thing I ever can like really remember getting super into, because I didn't start reading stuff. I started reading stuff after I started watching stuff, like a lot after.
Yeah.
And the first thing that I started reading was My Wife is a Demon Queen, or is the Demon Queen, depending on what you want to translate it as.
Mm.
And I am now 340 chapters into that, and it's still coming out with stuff, and it is so
God
good.
Damn.
Maybe it's not
Okay.
good. Maybe I just like it because I'm that
The
far
one
into it. But
that I have the first manga series that I care to admit to.
I
that
think
I
you
read.
should tell us what the first thing
I
you
don't
actually
know
read
if I
is.
should.
How bad
'cause
can it be if it's just a manga?
Me
I'll-
reading 200 chapter BL in one day.
It's not bad.
That was not a good BL.
Here,
I-
Nicole, I'll make you feel better.
Yeah. Also, Daniel, you and
Do you,
I.
do
help
you
her
know
out right
those
here.
ads on like Instagram or maybe YouTube where it's like, how did I get in this situation? I'm living with my high school bully right now. Like that ad. And then like it's actually etchy, but you have to like I don't know, put in information and get to a website and like have an account on it. Yeah, I've read those. If you've seen an ad, I literally saw the ad, I'm like, "Oh, this looks like dog shit. Who would do that?" I'm like, "Oh, I read that."
I read
So-
one of those. You know, Secret Class. You heard of Secret Class?
Might have seen an ad for
No.
that one.
Yeah, you've definitely seen an ad for it. It is.
Mm.
I'm not even gonna. I can't. I don't think I am. I don't think we can put this on YouTube if I describe what it is. But give a little search to Secret Class, and that's one of the things I read from an ad.
Hey, yo.
I remember
but Nicole,
I would read.
Oh,
Go
keep
ahead.
going.
Fine. I would read the Yu-Gi-Oh manga at the library.
Yeah, I
And
would
like you
just be
said,
reading shit at
Ah.
the library.
Yeah.
Also, do you guys remember? You know Warrior Cats, right?
Warrior Cats
Did you guys
manga.
know there was Warrior Cats manga?
I
Because I
Shit
did.
was
I never knew
banging.
that there was a manga.
And I read like
That sounds
5 of the
awesome.
volumes. It was lit.
TBH. Honestly, I should have put that one on the 3x3.
Warrior Cats
Did-
manga on the 3x3.
Did any of you
100%.
guys ever read that? So honestly, I thought it was a graphic novel when I read it. And so did my brother. This is how I have tricked him into saying that he's read and enjoyed a manga. Do you remember that old series Amulet?
Oh, if that's a manga, that was
Yeah.
my first manga. I read all of that shit.
Yeah,
still own
I
them.
assumed that it was just a graphic novel.
Me too.
And then Jack, my brother, the other day was asking, "Yo, do you know where those Amulet books are? I want to reread it." And I was like, "No, like I'll look it up and see how much they are because I wanted to reread it too." And I looked it up, and the first thing it said on Google was Amulet, and it said manga series. And I was like, "Yeah."
Interesting.
I
It's
remember
really
the Bone
good.
books.
Oh, Bone
Yes.
was so
Yeah.
good.
Bone was
Love
so lit.
I don't think that one would be considered a.
I
that
don't
one's
think
definitely
that's
a
a
graphic
manga.
novel.
I think
That's a
that's
graphic novel.
Nicole. If it would make you easier or easily admit the first thing you read, Daniel's admitted his. I will say I am 176 chapters into Parallel Paradise, which, if you want a general rundown of the plot, it's kind of an isekai, I guess. But this guy gets put into this world that's only girls. And when they
Mm.
all hit 20, they die. There's like this curse.
This is a
Hear me out.
bad
There's a
start to the
way to break
anime
this
for me.
curse.
No.
And I'm pretty sure you can figure out what the way to break that curse is.
No.
Ew, I'm looking at some covers. This shit look gas.
I don't know why it's on like normal sites. It should not be on these sites, but it is still dropping chapters weekly.
Gus, you'd be the only one who would know this. Do you remember? I think it was under like in a text channel, manga recommendations, and one of them was like kind of was like Minecraft for some reason, and then in the second chapter, all of a sudden there was
It
just
started
sex.
fucking.
Yeah.
What was going on?
And a certain person was like, "Oh, this one's really good," and then put the link down. I'm like, "What the fuck is maybe he did say it was really good. Maybe he just said what the fuck was going on, and then I clicked on it.
Yeah.
I'm like, "Oh, this is kind of interesting," and
That
then
was
all of a sudden it was
bizarre.
like second chapter. It's like bark, and then they started fucking, and it was like, "What the hell?"
Wait, and it's Minecraft, or they're just playing Minecraft?
No,
it was like they were in Minecraft.
like there was
but
cubed
not like
elements.
blocks.
There was like
Huge
magic
elements.
I don't know. I don't know.
What do you mean by
So
elements?
this isn't just like a Steve Dojin.
What do you
Anyone
mean?
be reading light novels?
No, I don't
Not
read.
Only
Sometimes.
the Monogatari light novels.
I have read one of them.
Have you guys
Because I
ever
chose
heard
the arc I liked most, and I bought the light novel for that one.
Dude,
of Reincarnation of the Strongest Sword?
I have been recommended it multiple times by you. I have not yet read it.
It is an absolute banger. I happen to be 2,770 chapters into it. Amazing. The plot only goes
Okay.
uphill.
Can you go
My
back to
only
the number
motivation-
of chapters for a quick second?
2,770.
Oh my god.
Holy shit.
You have half of the total chapters I've read of manga you have in that single story.
Yeah,
God damn.
it's garbage.
My only motivation for starting to read light novels would be so I can read
Money.
more. No. I mean, maybe. I don't know. More so I can read beyond the end of the Spice and Wolf anime. Because I know they have a kid, and I just want to see that. Because that's cute.
Nicole, I have a manga recommendation for you while we're
Mm.
here. It's pretty short. It's like 49 chapters. It's called The Life of the Witch Who Remains Single for 300 Years.
Sounds lit.
It's literally just about this witch who's single, and all of her witch friends
I'm
are
close.
trying to
I
get
just
her
need to become a
hooked up with
witch.
people. And it's
I-
adorable.
Now, why do you think I'd like that?
I just need to
'Cause
become a
it's
witch and
not
then live
shonen.
longer, and then I'll be good.
What's something else good? Oh, it didn't make the cut for my list, but Terraformers. Terraformers is absolute gas.
I hate those fucking
the
cockroaches.
the cockroaches, the Giga Chad. I didn't know until I started reading this that the Obunga meme. If any of you remember the
I know.
Obunga meme,
I know.
which is just a picture of
You've
Obama.
been describing this for a while, and I just realized what you're talking about.
Yeah, so it's this picture of Obama, and his face is like photoshopped taller, and they made his eyes huge, and it just looked weird. And then they just would always put like Obunga over it, and everyone would laugh because that's what memes are nowadays.
Oh, bunga.
But the first or like the second chapter of Terraformers, you see the cockroaches that are living on Mars, and that's what Obunga is. It's these. The plot is they were trying to cultivate Mars, and so they introduced this mold, this black mold, to sort of heat up the atmosphere, and then all these cockroaches to, I don't know, put some like matter or biomass onto Mars. And then they left it alone, let it fester for a little while, and then they were coming back to it to, clear the cockroaches out so that people could live on, the humans could start moving there. And so they sent like these teams of people to, I don't know, exterminate all the cockroaches. And they figured it was just going to be like you're going to kill a bunch of little bugs. And then the minute that they land, the cockroaches somehow are like 7 feet tall and built like the Giga Chad guy. And they're super strong, super fast, and they just start massacring these people. And so then they like figure out that everyone that they sent there died, and they're like, okay, now we know we're actually fighting like crazy cockroaches. And so they start, it's actually
Damn.
goated because they start like genetically modifying people with like different bug DNA. So you've got like a flea guy who can jump super high, and you got like some beetles that are like super tough. One of the guys gets mantis shrimp DNA, and so he can like punch super fast. And
Imagine having all those options and being the flea guy. Like being a
I'm the flea guy. I can jump.
but it's got, unfortunately, it has an adaptation.
Yeah.
The problem with this adaptation is the manga is ridiculously gory. And rather than be like some shows nowadays where they just are gory for the sake of being gory, they would just black out like half the screen. Or there's one scene where a cockroach grabs this dude's head and he's sort of standing like this with it, and he's just holding a black circle. And there's a lot of scenes where like half the screen is just black. They just don't let you see it. It is so annoying.
I think of JoJo's Part 3. Yeah, JoJo was smoking a cigarette, and it was just looked like half his face was missing.
Jump censorship, very interesting.
So funny. Oh, also the Daniel.
Yes.
The Tonikaku Kawaii, which what is that translated to? Tonikawa.
Something cute.
The Tonikawa manga. You watched the show. It was adorable.
Yes.
That
The one
manga
where she's
gets
an alien.
that
The
manga
easily
gets
forgettable
nuts.
anime.
That shit
Really?
gets insane. There's like, they sort of like switch directions. Like the manga gets to a point where they kind of pause it and then start taking it in a new direction.
Mm-hmm.
And the
I
way that
hate
it
when they
ends,
do that.
I like that they did it because they sort of give you all the background on Tsukasa, and then they're like, now back to this adorable couple. That's the reason you're reading this. But her background is intense. It's so like nutty and dark. And there's one panel in there where if you look at it, you're like, am I really reading a rom-com right now? But
Really?
Do you think it was intentional? Or like,
Oh,
do you
yeah.
think they were planning on it from the start?
I think they were planning on it because as far as it's gotten now, they're like giving you more little bits of information. But it's still like a rom-com. It's just got a cool backstory. So
Mm.
Wait, how dark does it get?
You know the scenes from Terraformers where everything was blacked out?
It's
Because
just all blacked out.
I remember in like the first season, it's just like really cute because like they like holding hands is a lot and shit like that. But like, how do they make it worse? What the fuck? I'm looking at some pictures of where it is at currently
so
because I'm
there's
not gonna read it.
okay, so there's a panel where spoilers for Tonikawa if you're gonna read it or watch it. She is standing on this field with a sword
Yeah.
after
What the
literally
fuck?
massacring an army. And she's
Just
just
like me.
and she's like, I forget what she's thinking to herself, but
Is it those demons again, Gus?
When I let 'em out,
basically the like the
Bad things
old
happen.
story of I'm blanking on the name of the like goddess of the moon that comes down to like marry a little farmer and then she has to go back to the moon.
Like Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Oh, is that the
No.
story? That's cool. Cause
Well, so-
like
What what is that
It's
that story
Avatar.
called? It's like a Japanese folk tale.
isn't that also
Oh,
like
you know, now that you mention it, I remember reading all about these Japanese
farmer
folk
is
tales.
Sokka.
No, it's like definitely a thing that
I
I'd
was
heard
gonna
of
say,
before.
Isn't that kind of like a thing in like Avatar: The Last
Yeah, that's
Airbender?
what I was
That was
saying.
a premise.
It's
Yeah,
the
yeah.
moon and him.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like that premise, that story. She is the one from
That was in Love Is War too. When they were
Yeah.
like the constellations, and he's like, "Oh, it was so tragic that she's
yeah,
a
she had to go
yeah,
back
yeah.
to the
the
moon.
moon.
So she is from the moon basically. And that's like why NASA is always saying like I'm going to get you to the moon, and she's like trying to find someone who can take her home basically. Kind of sad.
I hope the manga ends with
It's
her
like a
going
NASA.
home. Probably.
Yeah,
the main character's name
Someone
is
bring her
the
to
main
NASA.
character's name is NASA, but
Wrong
spelled
NASA,
NASA.
bro.
So
Maybe that's why she
it's
sought him
adorable.
out.
It's so wholesome. That shows I love it.
So
I
it
love
I
how
is
wanted
still
to end with her
wholesome.
going back to the moon.
It's just when they give her background, you're like, damn.
Okay,
I think she'll go back at the end.
damn.
I think so too.
She actually goes
Good.
to where does Terraformers take place? Mars.
Mar-
She actually ends up on
They
Mars.
put her on Mars to exterminate the
He's the
cockroaches.
reason? Nah, she made the cockroaches. She trained those motherfuckers.
I would say she solos the verse. She's one sword
solos.
And she
against.
beat Goku.
I wonder. I'll have to look up her power level, see what they say.
Power scaling.
Power scale
scaling.
Tsukasa. Oh man.
Every manga is
Oh,
just
no.
the same universe. They all know each other.
Mm-hmm. They're all friends.
It's all JoJo's.
Yep.
All JoJo's.
I'd like to, before we end, I'd like to just let's end on a JoJo's reference.
Yeah, let's.
We went, 3 of us in this call. Daniel, I'm sorry, you were not here, so you couldn't come with us. 3 of us went bowling for my birthday on a couple days ago.
I'm
And-
goated.
On what day? On what day?
on you could say it's the day that falls somewhere between Thursday and Saturday. We went bowling,
Tuesday.
and you know, you're going out in public. What are you gonna wear? Obviously, I was gonna wear the Crunchyroll JoJo's King Crimson sweater, of course. Naturally. And we bowling. I'm bowling like ass the whole time,
Getting
and then
destroyed by CC.
getting demolished. And then we're leaving, and we leave like the lower part where you got to have the bowling shoes on, and we step up onto the spot where you put your normal shit back on, you give them back the shoes and everything, and fucking Roundabout starts playing in the bowling alley as we're leaving.
That's hype. I heard
Yeah.
Roundabout on the radio. Just like, I'm like, oh yeah, this is like a
It
normal
bangs.
song. It bangs.
I at work this summer, because all I had in that damn truck was the radio in like some hick town in California. So it was just, I could either listen to country or like old classic rock. But when I was on the old classic rock channel, so many stand either artists or songs on that shit. I sent Gus a couple Snapchats every time I would see a song come on.
Yeah.
While you were driving?
No,
That is
I
not a
mean
safe
I would pull over to
Mm.
the side of the road and then take the video, and then I would put my phone away and start driving again.
All right, I'll trust you.
Nah, actual
That's
facts.
safe.
That car was a manual. You can't do. I don't got 3 hands. There's no way I can both drive and take a video.
Don't think you're working hard enough.
Can only do so
Yeah.
much.
Maybe if you had Gus's inner demon helping you,
Yeah,
Oh.
that's
You
not
could do-
something I have to
you could
worry
do-
about.
That I don't know. I don't know if any of you, either here or listening, have ever tried driving a manual or can drive manual, but the gate to get up to the research lab, they put that damn gate. You had to drive up a hill to get there. That gate was not like they flattened out part of the road to put a gate on it. Every time I opened that shit, I would have to stop on a hill, get out, open the gate, start on a hill, drive through the gate, stop again where it got even steeper, close the gate behind me, get back in, and then start on the damn gate again. Every
Lucky.
single time I came back, it was a double steep ass hill start.
Fun
just
car
put a
story.
Miserable.
controller on that. Get a remote.
On the gate?
Yeah, figure that out.
Dog, I was sleeping in a
Yeah.
tent. You think we got money
We got
for a remote on the
technology
gate?
up there.
It's just a gated community. Just like you press the button and it opens up.
Uh,
Fun
that would have
car
been nice.
story.
That would have been nice.
Nicole, do
Lovely.
you have a license?
I don't need one. I
Okay.
get picked up by a
Facts.
$300,000 car every day.
That's
What?
on God.
Oh, shit.
I got my own personal limousine.
Personal. Like people be
Extra
pissing in
spread.
your personal vehicle.
Nah, it's Gus and all his friends. You know,
Yeah. You don't know.
I'm just really generous.
you wouldn't know him. They go to a different school.
uh, all right. Anyone got anything? Any last bits they wanna?
I'm gonna read more.
If you ever
Yeah.
need something to read, just look at my 3x3. I
Absolutely.
only put bangers.
I'm probably
bangers.
honestly next time I need to read something, I'm going through all of our 3x3s.
Oh, yeah.
I need to take a pit stop in Nicole's 3x3 as well, because
Yeah, that'll be
there's some
interesting.
maybe not the body horror ones, because I'm really just trying to like get my
Read
body
Blue
image up to
Flag.
a nice,
Read Blue
yeah,
Flag.
a true love triangle.
It's great.
That
The
shit
lesbian
I like
gay.
the love
character?
triangles that end in polyamory.
Me too.
Those ones bang.
And then we can debate the ending, because the ending, I don't know how I feel about it. It's interesting. Anyways.
Okay, you guys gotta read Haikyuu and JoJo's Part 7. Those are my top 2. that
I
Alright.
think
suggest.
our takeaway here is that we just all have to read things from each other's lists.
Yeah.
You just need to read.
I
We all
mean,
need to read.
I'm not like outright surprised that none of us have really a lot of overlap, but I am a little bit surprised that other than JoJo's, it was like pretty much nothing.
Yeah. One thing, okay, I wish that. Do you remember being in grade school when they would have, like, I know where you guys went, had reading weeks,
Mhm.
times.
The
But
readathon.
where I went, okay, we would have the readathon, and you would turn your reading. And if you were a top reader, they set up Camp Readaway in the library, and you got to skip class the whole day and just chill in like a tent with snacks in the school library and read.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
And you know I was always there because I was always the top reader. So lit.
Loser
who's
I
the
alert.
wish
top-
we still got
There's
that.
always the biggest reader, and then there's always the richest person.
True.
Who's the person who always had like the most money donated?
Ella. It was Ella. I will not add last names. But-
Can you give an
I
initial?
remember.
Because I don't know who you're talking about.
HR.
Not in our grade.
Not in our grade. You didn't even go to our school. How are
I
you
don't
going to know who this person is?
I don't know. There's a lot of overlap.
I remember getting prizes. Maybe that was at our middle school.
No,
But
there were
that was
definitely prizes for the readathon.
Yeah. You
What-
guys
Yeah.
both had shirts. We were always
get
so
shirts,
very
you would
jealous
get-
of your shirts.
What
would get
was
pizza parties,
I
ice
just said the name of my
cream.
elementary school. You might have to.
what was the
who
prizes
cares?
for our middle school? Like why what
Our
marathon
middle
thing
school
was
did
there?
not have a
No, it
readathon.
wasn't a readathon. It was something different. But I remember like getting this stupid big ass pen, like the comically large pen.
I love
Um,
fucking like prizes you get for stupid competitions.
Oh, but then
They're
the
always the
biggest prize was a mini fridge. You could get a Coca-Cola,
Oh,
like
yeah. What did you do to get that? What was that
I don't know what the
competition?
yeah, I have no idea, but I got the pen. So like
What the fuck are
honestly,
you guys talking about?
I don't
You
know.
Was I
went to
absent?
no, you were here every year for 3 years.
Yeah.
Every 3 years.
What was it?
it
Who
wasn't
remembers,
reading.
who
We
remembers
wouldn't have
when
done it.
we made ice cream in the lunchroom? One of the
What?
years. It was, I just remember it because it was
You
an
are capping, my
actual
friend.
epic fail. It was like I think it was like the last day of school, or maybe, yeah.
Hmm.
And you got like these little, it was like a Ziploc bag,
Yeah, yeah.
and you had ice,
Oh,
and you
yeah.
put salt in it,
That
and
shit
then you
tasted
had like the
disgusting.
cream,
Mine was so salty.
and it did not, in fact, turn to ice cream, so you
It's
just
good when
had
you do
slightly
it.
salty sweet milk.
Hey,
I
Gus.
remember being so jealous of you guys when you had school canceled because it was too hot.
Yeah,
We didn't have
that was
AC,
epic.
no
Yeah.
air conditioning. So when it was hot outside, it was like
jealous of you guys.
120 degrees on the 3rd floor. Hey, Gus.
Huh.
Remember 8th grade? Remember there was that
No.
goated science test, and it was prefaced before we took this test.
Yes!
They said, hey, if you get a 98 or above on this test, when you go to 9th grade, you do not have to take general science. Now, 2 people got 98 or above on this science quiz. It was Gus and I. And guess which 2 people had to take general science 9th grade? They just
Biggest
lied to
fucking
us.
Scam. I was
Gus,
like, I
you
feel like I
aced it.
shouldn't be here.
You aced it, and I got like 99.
Yeah.
And they were like, this is amazing. You don't have to take the
I don't remember that part. I actually just remember them saying beforehand, if you do this, you won't have to take it. And then I did it. And then I don't even, like, I got the good score, and I was like, let's go. And then no one mentioned it ever again.
No, I
And
so I
I
talked
had to take the fucking dumbass science class with the fucking, who was the
I feel
teacher?
like
I
I
think I had Miss
passed-
Peterson.
Me too.
I was so angry the whole time.
What does
I
it
think
put-
I got like a B in that class because I did not participate.
I want to know like what's her deal. Like
she was epic. What do you mean?
I'm so confused by that woman.
I remember in that class, I sat next to Nate, and one of the days, I just remember he just had like coins, and he was having me count them, and I was like, crack that counting. He was like, this man is a demon at mathematics. And I was like, okay.
I only had Miss Peterson. I didn't have her the first year. I had her when I took honor or when I took chemistry later.
We
Ah,
all had her
chemistry?
together.
I didn't.
We all
Oh
had
no, that was for AP Environmental Science.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was
But-
thinking of the other teacher.
Yeah.
Class was okay, but in normal science, she was kind of weird. She
She was kind of weird in all the classes.
she
What do
was
you mean?
she's just kind of weird. Like she was very nice, but then also when you don't understand something, she goes. She just like
So,
laughs at you. You're like,
I
no, you're the
I
teacher.
I can't remember her name, but the teacher I had for chemistry, basically because we took AP Bio before chemistry, like we weren't supposed to, we had to like teach ourselves chemistry so we could do AP Bio.
I
So
dropped
then
that.
I took chemistry after taking AP Bio and fucking knew everything because I had to teach it to myself. And I was also the only upperclassman in that whole class. And so I was like the epitome of like the, like main character who sits at the back of the room in the corner and doesn't talk to anyone. But it wasn't because I was cool. It was because it was a bunch of underclassmen and I already knew everything in the class.
Nick,
And-
we had that for health.
That
It
too.
was you and me as seniors
That
taking
was
a
miserable. That was
underclass.
Started health senior year. I spent one day in the class. I was like, "Fuck no, I'm taking this."
I
on my-"
love that. I had it with my boy Gus too. That shit was hilarious.
the only reason I liked health as a senior was because it meant gym as a senior.
Like listening,
Mm.
having health as a senior is just sitting there listening to freshmen like giggle.
Giggle about condoms.
You're like,
like
"Shut
shut
the
the
fuck
fuck up.
the only reason I liked health because you were there, Nick. And then when you were like gone, I was like, damn.
Daniel, I'd like to say
Shut down.
Daniel actually learned something from health class.
What did I learn?
He learned how to juggle. Because at one point, I asked the teacher if Daniel and I could just go out into the hall instead of doing what we were doing. She's like, yeah, just don't make a lot of noise. And we had like 3 tennis balls, and I just taught you how to juggle.
I remember that. Yeah. And then in gym, it was just like me trying to validate not being able to run by how much I could bench or like squat, and it was like slightly
Yeah.
above average, and I was like, yeah, get fucked. That was a fun time.
I also
Uh,
didn't take gym in person, which was a great decision on my part.
I took
Online
half
gym?
of gym
Online gym was based.
Do not take it during the
Totally
winter.
That's true. I took
I
it
was
during-
cracked at faking exercises.
I took both health and gym at the same time during the spring of COVID. That was very interesting.
I was in online gym at the same time that I was racing at Tour of Ireland. And so I wasn't doing any of my like workout journals. And at one point she was like, I haven't gotten anything from you in like 3 weeks. Like, what's going on? And I sent her I said, oh, I'm at this race. And I sent her like the website for the race. And she said, oh, you don't have to do any of your workout journals. And I said, okay, thank you.
You know what? That's kind of based.
Just sends like the link to the live stream of the race.
It was
It's
like,
like,
it was
I'm busy.
so annoying because I would like do a ride because I had to do them every day.
Yeah.
Mm.
And then I would get home and I would just have to like put what seemed like it literally must have looked like I was joking because this was like the peak of the season. So I was saying that I was biking like 500 miles a week and putting in like 20 hours of exercise a week. And I was like, she totally thinks that I'm just lying out of my ass on these.
Yeah. I think senior year classes, it's sad they were cut off because I had lit classes senior year.
No.
I had such fun.
I would cut off my classes if I 100 out of 100 times I would end school because of COVID, because of fucking EDD, fucking engineering dog shit design. All right, that class was garbage. Thank God COVID happened just because we didn't have to finish our projects.
We took
Yeah.
that dub. You know how much our project wasn't going, Gus? Like at all. Like, okay, Gus and I were in different groups. You took a good project. My group took a stupid project because I was with a
False.
bunch of fucking.
We did not take a good project.
It was like it was. Sorry, you could probably build that. Like you had an idea of. Was it just fucking cutting bread? Was your entire project was like a bread slicer?
Yes.
Yeah, so mine was sleeving magic cards. Like you put cards on one side and sleeves on the other, and it would fucking do it for you. You know how fucking hard that is?
I can't even sleeve them with my hands.
We contacted an organization that it was a card sorter, and it would look at the card and it would use suction cups to pick up the card and move it into a slot, and then that's what it did. And we contacted them like, hey, we're seniors and we're trying to make this like card sleeve, and they're like, that seems hard as fuck. Good luck though. Like email us if you finish it, that'd be really cool. And then we just didn't do it. So
Oops.
would have
My
failed that class
senior
otherwise.
schedule, except for stats, which I dropped. I didn't even get
Fuck
through
that
first
teacher,
semester.
bro. That dude was
Wait, who did you
Wait.
guys have?
the other one.
Did any of you guys have the
Ours
Swedish
was
guy?
good. We had the same one for a while. We were in the same class.
The
remember?
Swedish
Oh.
guy?
I
We
was
were
the
in
only person in the
Nick,
different
we were in the
class.
same class for like the first part of first semester.
We were?
Yes.
Maybe you were the elusive 4th person at the table or 5th person at the table, me, Jack, Matisse.
Yeah,
and
I
someone
was.
else that I was trying to remember.
And I left.
I was
It was me.
I was recently trying to think about that, and I was like, there were definitely 5 people at this table, but I literally can only
It was
remember there
me.
being 4 people. Yeah, when did you leave?
Like right before first semester ended.
Oh, okay.
Because I said, fuck this. I'm not failing this class. And crying in this class anymore.
That was truly the greatest divide within a class I've
Stats-
ever seen.
I
Stats
fucking
was-
hated that class.
I am the literal antithesis of a math person. I am so bad at math, and then stats was the most free thing I have ever done at South.
I'm bad at math. And I was bad at stats. And I can admit
That's
that. And that's
truly.
powerful.
They had everyone. They had people bad at math going off, like Nick. They had people bad at math dropping the class left and right. Like, actually, just people getting out of there. They had people good at math, like, not doing well. And they had people that, like, some people were like, it's the easiest class I've ever taken.
Dude,
Go ahead.
the AP scores that year were so strange because I was not super good at Enviro. Like, it was an easy class, but I was not super good. Why'd I get a fucking 4 on the AP test? Like,
All right.
and then I got. So, I was in AP Psych, right? And I worked really hard, right? Guess what I got on the AP test? Guess.
1.
Yes.
So
How?
I took Calc 1 twice in high school. The easier one first, and I fell asleep in that class, and I took the harder one next, and then it was okay. So online AP test. For this math class, you had to type out your math to show your work. Like you couldn't like do what I do now, which is like take a picture afterwards and then convert to PDF and then turn it in. You had to type out every single fucking process you had, and or you had to take a picture of it and turn it in before your timer ends. So you would take off like 10 minutes to like get it from your phone to your computer away from your work time. So I just completely bombed that one like horribly. And yeah, now I've fucking taken Calc 4.
Oh,
Still
Daniel.
haven't I still haven't
Success
used Calc.
story.
Still haven't used Calc yet.
I haven't used
Other
any
than
math.
classes. That's
I've
fine.
had to use calc.
You've had to
For
use Calc?
what?
Physics.
Oh, yeah.
But
Okay.
yeah, that all makes sense.
Another class. I'm excited to get a job. And they're like, hey, remember that one thing you learned in Calc 4? We're gonna use that. And I'm be like, oh my god, it's finally my classes paid off. And I won't just like look it up and then figure out how to do it. So
Mm.
100%
Cool.
will look it up.
I 100% will look it up and just have it be taught better.
I'm not
Yeah.
gonna lie. At this point, I would have to look how to solve for x in a basic equation.
Oh.
Give me an
That's a-
equation. I can solve it.
That's a
No,
yikes
wait.
moment.
Actually,
That
I
is
could.
a
I could. I think I could do it. Yeah, I could. Okay. I just thought about it a little more. I could. But
a likely story.
2x plus
give me an
1.
equation.
2x plus 1 equals 7. What is x?
No, I'm not doing that right
Wait, what?
4.
What? No, hold on. Think about that for like literally
Okay,
2 seconds,
okay.
Nicole.
2x
Wait, I got
plus
it wrong.
1. You got it wrong too. Equals
But I
7.
can't remember what order to do things in.
Minus 1 on both
Oh.
sides.
Really?
Yes.
Do those first?
Yes. Then you get 6. Then you
Do
get 2x
I know.
plus
reverse
6.
Okay, you didn't
PEMDAS.
explain that part. I just need to know which one you do first. I feel like there's an order, right? And it's not that.
You're thinking of like
PEMDAS,
PEMDAS.
but you just do it
Yeah.
backwards
You do it backwards
because you're
because
unsolving.
you're working backwards.
You have the answer, so you work it in reverse.
Fine.
You do it in the way that's easier.
The answer's 3.
I literally did not
Anyways,
realize
yeah.
that you do it backwards. I just
I
did
didn't
it
either.
because
I
it's
didn't think
easier.
about that. But then I was
Um,
second guessing myself.
so for next week, we gotta finish Madoka Magica.
Shit.
Somewhere, maybe in next week or in the week after that, Daniel, you and I will do the shitty show episode.
Oh, it's gonna be great.
It's gonna be
It's
so
gonna be
much
great.
fun. And then yeah, I think that'll be it. Make sure if you, especially with this episode, if you're listening to this on Spotify, go watch it on YouTube. You're gonna be missing pretty much
understand
all
more.
of this if you
Why are you
are
saying
just
that
listening
at
to
the
this.
end?
I'll
why don't
put
you
it. I'll put another thing at the beginning.
Just
But
insert it.
if you
After
got
you
this
watch
far,
this 2-hour long podcast, watch
if you
it
got this
again.
I'll watch
far,
it
go
again on
back and
YouTube.
rewatch it. Or just check on our Twitter where all of the 3x3s will be posted. That will also work.
And text me, Natalie, when you hear yourself being called out on the show. That I know that you're watching or listening.
Daniel making moves.
Text him the exact timestamp so we know.
I need the timestamp.
Yeah, otherwise, before next week, make sure to check out our Twitter at Subtopinions for updates on new episodes. We will post pictures of stuff, basically anything outside
Why are
of
you
the
saying
shows.
we? I feel like it's just gonna be you.
You.
Oh, it'll be up there.
You will post.
I will be posting those.
The audience will be
Yeah, and just
you.
you'll find links. It's how you'll know when new episodes go up, when
We
they'll
gotta
be
come
up.
up with an outro phrase.
Get the fuck out of here.
No.
Come up with one right now. Wait, did I write one down?
The
I
first
might have.
thing that came to my mind was "Stay Frosty." I have no idea what that means.
I love
It's
that.
not related to the podcast even a little bit.
Hey everybody, stay frosty out there. I'll see you next episode.